All right. Welcome to BDA Boxing, the Boxing Debate Arena Special Edition, with Stu as the host of the Stu Boxing Talk Show. I know the name is kind of boring, but Stu isn't boring, and he will be taking your phone calls alongside McGregor. So, Unravel Boxing News, aka McGregor, is on the show as well. Let's introduce our host first.
I wasn't bad
I
though.
told you what's going to happen to Price. I told you he's going to be sleeping. I told you the ambulance is going to come. The oxygen mask is going to come out. I told you he's going to miss the main event. I told you all them things were going to happen.
What's happening, Butcho? McGregor.
How are you guys? Guys, are you ready to take some phone calls? Hopefully, we're gonna get some crazies again, and it's gonna be exciting. This time around, we're not gonna have 10 people. I know some people complained, and it's true. We have a lot of people, and it's very difficult to take phone calls when when we have a lot of people. So hopefully, this goes well. I have to do some stuff, so I'm gonna leave Stu obviously as the host and McGregor as well. So I'm gonna open the phone lines in a few minutes, guys. So I'll let you know when the phones are ready. So you take over.
Right, yeah. I thought least I could do was treat you guys to a show I haven't been on for a while. Been very busy. Obviously, some personal stuff going on as well. But yeah, really looking forward to this show tonight. I've got McGregor helping me out, so it's a bit of the Irish are in town, shall we say? So it's definitely going to have a bit of an Eastern European flavour. This show, obviously, with the fights we're talking about, and it just happened that way. It didn't I didn't plan it. You know, when we started debating what topics to talk about, these were the fights that were coming up. So obviously the Kovalev-Yard, I want to continue with that. Then there's the Beterbiev v Vozic, a very good fight. Then there's Triple G v Derevyanchenko. That's been announced. Usyk in Chicago, and also want to talk about the Conor McGregor versus the old Irishman in the pub as well. I want to discuss the Conor McGregor saga, shall we say? And yeah, I've got my co-host McGregor to help me out because it's very hard to hold a show down on your own, especially for a few hours. So I'm really grateful for McGregor to join me. You there, McGregor?
Yeah, I am. I'm here. Thanks for letting me come on with you. First of all, I'd just like to say I'm completely sober, which is a complete lie. So the show should be fantastic. I'm looking forward to talking about McGregor as well, man. That lad's gone a bit too far, and he couldn't even chin an 84-year-old man. So.
Oh yeah, I mean what's happened to Conor McGregor? I mean, I think this is the thing when you start getting away with so much, you start to believe you can get away with everything. And this guy's behaviour recently is just bizarre, and it's costing him millions of dollars. By the way, millions of dollars these lawsuits are costing him, and he's actually lost a lot of fans. I watched a video earlier where a lot of Irish people were chucking his fucking whiskey down the to buy it and that. So he's even and for the Irish to turn on you, got to be doing something wrong because they'd fucking stick an Irish flag on a donkey and they'd fucking back it to the hills. So Conor, he needs to be back in the octagon. He needs to beat. Well, for me, he needs to beat Khabib's ass to get any sort of respect back. And then he's sort of like, like I said, with the personality wise with Conor, I mean, it's a long road back for him because he built up such a big fan base and he's lost it by being an absolute gobshite. What's your opinion on it, McGregor?
Well, like you said about the Irish fans too. To get them behind you, all you need to do is stick a flag on a donkey. Katie Taylor, perfect example of that. But the way this lad's gone, like, let's start with it. Starting trouble with the gangsters on the south side of Crumlin with the hutches and everything like that. Getting involved with just the wrong crowds, doing ecstasy tablets and D2 and getting smashed with pool cues. Now he's starting fights with 85-year-old men and he can't win it. The dude's he's just gone off the rocker. You think he needs to beat Khabib to get any respect, mate? I'll be honest with you. He needs to beat Khabib 9 times in a row for anyone to give a shit about him anymore in this country. Like, the only people who do are the same people you see on the dole queue every fucking Monday morning, you know?
Wasn't it you that's telling me that? Wasn't it you telling me that he was on the coke and he was going around some slappers house in some Dublin estate, shagging out at weekends or something?
Yeah,
You told me
he
that.
gets into all sorts. Well, I
Yeah,
didn't tell you that, I don't think, but he does. He
I
does
thought
do
you
shit
did.
like that. He's a scumbag.
Yeah, it seems that way. And like I said, it's. I mean, I suppose. Give me $100 million. I'm a scumbag as it is, so give me $100 million. No matter what, fucking hell, the sky's the limit for being a scumbag for me. But obviously, he's got a role to play. When you're an athlete, you do have to play a certain role to the kids
Yeah.
that are looking up to you, and he hasn't done that, and he's been a gobshite. And let's be real, if that was Floyd Mayweather behaving like that, we'd be calling for him to be fucking hung from the trees. So we have to be fair now. Conor McGregor's a piece of shit, but I got on Conor's side because for me, he fought the best. When he fought Diaz at 170 pounds, he was fucking really much smaller guy in there, and he still took the challenge. When he lost, he didn't go and try and get things on his side. He took it at 170 again when he could have took it at 155 or whatever it was, and made it an easy night for himself. So he fought Aldo, he fought Khabib, he's fought the best, and for me as a fighter, that's what I like. But obviously as a human being, he surpassed Floyd Mayweather for being a piece of shit, isn't he? So,
Yeah,
but yeah.
yeah, he has.
Yeah, that's about it, really. I mean, there's not really. It's not the Conor McGregor show. We do want to talk some boxing tonight. But Butcho's just texted me and said the lines are ready. So if any of you guys want to call in, I believe the number's up on the screen. So me and McGregor are ready for you. We're ready for some
Absolutely.
boxing talk.
Absolutely. Where will we start? Where will we start?
Yeah, but we'll start with Kovalev-Yard. I know I haven't really had the chance to give my breakdown on this, and I've not really heard any of you guys because I've not been around. So I'd like to get your 2 cents on that, McGregor.
Well, I'll start with saying I think Kovalev's gonna win. That's the first thing I'll say. I think Yard, the inexperience is telling. I think the fact that the best knockout percentage of any of his opponents is 57%, and that's Baranye, the Hungarian bum who had the WBO European title. He had the highest percentage of knockouts, and that's only because he was beating cakes. You know what I mean? Um, Going into the fight, you look at the size differences, you look at Kovalev's length, you look at how he does the 1-2, how he dictates pace, his offset of beat and timing, how he dissects the rhythm in the fight. And you see Anthony Yard there, he fights out of that Philly shell, trying to be like Floyd Mayweather, only a little bit slower, a little bit clunkier, and a little more hittable. And you feel like Kovalev, even though he's, on the vodka all the time and he's, out doing Russian pole dances and throwing wads of cash at women, he's still going to beat the shit out of him. You really do feel that way because this kid hasn't fought anyone ranked inside the top 60 in the world.
I find he fights more like a Broner style than he does a Floyd. I don't think I think Floyd's a bit more classier with the shots when he's fighting behind that shell sort of thing. Yard's a bit like Broner. It's very it's quite good work. Don't get me wrong. It's not. It's predictable and and it's you just know it's coming. He doesn't really work off the jab or anything. He just hits by that shell and throws the shots from there. And it's going to need a bit more than that. It's going to be a range thing with me with Kovalev because Kovalev. One thing about Kovalev, he's very good at and getting you on the end of his shots. And like I said, he's got a bit long arms and power on the end of them shots as well. So once he hits you, when you're coming in and he hits you, you start takes you off your game plan and you start thinking, I don't want to go in there again. Keep away from there. So you start fighting at range, and that's where he's at his best. Because Kovalev for me doesn't have I don't think he has a solid inside game. I don't think he's terrible, but I don't think he's solid on the end. I think that's where Andre Ward managed to rough him up and get the better of him on the inside. I think when Ward tried to box him from the outside, Kovalev was outboxing him, sort of thing. So, yeah, I think
Ward couldn't live with him.
No, exactly. I think Ward had to get in the inside and start, and I think that's where Yard does his best work. I think, but like I said, the way he fights, I think if he can get inside Kovalev, uppercuts and the body shots go. And like I said, with Kovalev, you know, the drink takes its toll on any man. It doesn't matter how good you are. You keep drinking, it's going to take its toll. So with Kovalev, it depends what Kovalev turns up. If the Kovalev turns up the guy we know Kovalev can be, then Yard's in for a horrible night, I'm afraid. But if Kovalev turns up, Alvarez, fucking still hungover from a night on the vodka a couple of nights before, then Yard could cause the upset. Because I don't think Yard's out of his depth. I just think he's just too inexperienced. He's not been at that level. He's not going to know what it's going to be like to be in someone like Kovalev. And I think this is where Frank Warren has gone wrong with him. I think he had to step him up, even if he'd have stuck him in with a Callum Johnson, that could have told us some sort of level where Yard is, because Callum Johnson impressed against Beterbiev. Then he dropped him and had him on all sorts of trouble. So that could have told us something, but he's not even had that sort of level. And I think on the night in Russia, I just think it's going to be a really hard night for him.
Do you also feel as though the fact that he's going into Russia itself is a massive factor? Like, because a lot of people have this like idea about Russia, like the water, there's things in the water, the steroids, the clocks being changed in the middle of rounds to help the fighters, the home crowd, the racism, all of this shit that people do actually talk about as being a telling factor in Russia. Do you think that'll affect Anthony Yard?
Well, no, not. I just think it's to do with it's just being in a place that you're not used to. Like I said, Russia. It's especially for a black guy from the UK. I mean, Russia is not exactly the top of his list of places to go, is it? It's probably at the bottom. So it's probably just the thought of being in Russia is probably you know playing with his mind, because it's not even about the water and stuff like that. It's just like I said, it's a tough place to go, isn't it? I mean, how many fighters do you know from America and the UK that travel to Russia to fight? So you've got to give
Very
Yard
few,
his
very
credit
few.
here.
I mean,
Isn't he?
I went to St. Petersburg.
Roy Jones, but
I was in St. Petersburg a long time ago. It's alien. It's completely different. It
of
feels
course it
like
is.
you've not even entered another country. It feels like you've entered a different planet.
Yeah,
Just the way that
exactly.
people are,
It's a culture
the
thing, yeah.
attitudes, the atmosphere. It's a huge culture shock. But I'm telling you, the second he sees one of those women, he's gonna feel at home. Those are some good-looking women.
Yeah. And the thing with like I said, Kovalev, it's gonna be in Russia. He's not fought there for a long time. He's I think he's in his hometown as well. I thought in his hometown, so he's going to want to impress. And
Yeah,
like I said, if Kovalev's on his game and he's took this serious, a horrible night for an Anthony Yard. I really do. But yeah, if any of you guys want to call in, speak to me and McGregor about this fight, then obviously the number's up. Call in. Butcho's there, ready to take it and pass it on. So
let me ask you one other
mean,
question about this fight, Stu.
go ahead. Go ahead.
When do you think? You know how Buddy McGirt, he's in Kovalev's corner, and a couple of weeks ago, his fighter Maxim Dadashev passed away. Rest in peace, Maxim. Due to accumulation in the ring. Do you think Buddy might be quick on the finger if Kovalev starts to get hurt because he had a fighter die recently?
No, I don't think so. I
I
just
mean,
don't. I
I
don't
would.
think that's going to be the case. Yeah, I mean, I don't think Kovalev's going to be in a situation where he's going to be badly hurt by a Yard, where thinking about his life. I don't, I don't think Anthony Yard is going to be that sort of guy that does that to Kovalev. But you never know. Boxing one punch can do that. But I just don't see it. I mean, I see Yard getting hurt quite early and going in his shell a bit, maybe survival mode, because he's in a win-win situation. If he beats Kovalev, then he's going to be a star. If he gets beat and knocked out, it was too early for him. He's not ready, so he can come again. And so he's got an excuse already. And I just feel. I mean, I know Spazzy in the chat put in earlier that Stu's got Yard to win, and fucking gave Yard any sort of chance in this. If he fucking listened for once, then he'd know that I thought this was a very dangerous fight for Yard to take, because it's like it's just like fucking. It's like learning the. It's like taking your armbands off and then jumping in the middle of the sea the next day. You're not going to do that, are you? You're going to gradually learn to fucking swim, and feel like. But I think he's cashing out, because I don't think Yard's the sort of guy that's going to see $4 million in a fight anytime soon, especially with Frank Warren as his promoter. What do you think?
I think it's a cash out. I really do. I think he's been heavily protected. They know something we don't know, and the fact that his highest percentage knockout opponent was 57% and everyone else is like 51, 45, 32, and 21 and stuff like that. I think as a gambling man, that lets me know he has a chin. He has a bad chin. They're protecting it. And of all the people in the world, for you to get your chin check against, Kovalev ain't the guy. Especially since you're not sparring. Tundi Ajoy is saying he is Anthony Yarde's chief sparring partner. He doesn't have any sparring. What on earth? What are you doing? And all you're doing is doing pad fights
See,
with him. And Kovalev's an offbeat fighter. Go ahead there, Stuart.
McGregor, you there? Kaida Jundi, whatever his fucking name is, the trainer of Yard, Tundi Ajayi, I think his name is. I mean, absolute fucking clown. I mean, you do not need in your corner. All right, he's took Yard so far, but let's be real, man. You could, if a guy's got talent, you don't even have to be a trainer. Gerald McKellen, his fucking trainer, couldn't even wrap hands. He was just a yes boy in the corner. You know, he met him at a dog fight. So that's the sort of guy that can train world champion fight. You don't have to be, and he's just lucky. He's got some sort of knowledge. He's taught Yard, who's obviously a natural talent. That's people you want in your corner, because you want a realist in your corner. Because it's like when Rocky wanted to fight fucking Clubber Lang. What did Mickey tell him? He goes, "Count me out, mate. He'll knock it at tomorrow, Rock." Do you know what I mean? He was keeping it real, and well, that's what he said, isn't it? And he was keeping it real, and I think you got to keep it real with some of these fighters, because sometimes when you fight scared, you fight at your best. I found that with Scott Fitzgerald. I think he fought quite scared when he fought Fowler, and I think it suited him, because when you fight scared, you keep your eye on the ball, and you don't make as many mistakes. When you think you're just going to walk in there, steamroll through someone, that's when you get fucking caught. So sometimes I feel that when fighters have got that fear there, they can be at their best, but also it can work the other way against it. It can be very nervous energy where David Price comes in the ring, tank's gone, isn't it, before the fucking bells rang. So it can work either way, but I think you need a realist in the camp. It don't help when you fucking say, "Oh, you're the best. You don't need to work on anything." That's where Chris Eubanks Jr. has gone wrong. You see, he had these fucking yes men in his corner, and plus his dad telling him that he's going to beat Gennady Golovkin and he doesn't need to work on anything. When he comes in with someone half decent footwork, he's fucking lost, isn't he? So I think you've got to be a realist in the corner.
Pretty much. And on top of that, like you mentioned Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald's fighting. He's fighting against Cheeseman. That's been announced and on the same card as Ritson and Robbie Davis Jr. That's a good card. I like Fitzgerald and Cheeseman. But do you think Yard has any hope still?
I think what, McGregor?
Do you think Yard has any hope?
Yes, I mean, it's boxing, isn't it? Anyone's got a fucking chance in a boxing ring. You know, when you're at that level, it just takes one shot. You don't know what Kovalev's been training. You know, like I heard he got fucking kicked off an aeroplane for fucking groping some bird all pissed up. So that don't look good for the fucking
he
building.
threw a wad of cash at her. And you know what? Fuck society. Because like if I'm not allowed to throw a wad of cash at a woman when I'm the world champion, yeah, then I don't want to live into. If you can't do that when you're a world boxing champion,
Kovalev's
what can you do?
Kovalev's in. Am I cutting out, McGregor? Because you're cutting out when you're talking to me.
I don't know. I don't know who it is.
No, am I cutting out because you're cutting out to me? You're cutting out when you're talking.
Well, you're not cutting out to me, so maybe it's
Oh,
me.
that's okay. Yeah, maybe it's you then. Yeah, I mean, he's not the sort of guy that should live in America or the UK, somewhere like. He's too Russian for these beta males and these fucking cooks over here. I mean, everyone's offended by everything all the time, aren't they? I mean, Kovalev, they talk about this guy like he's fucking Hitler's personal assistant or something. You know, the guy's just made a few dumb comments. Yeah, he's a Nazi and everything else, and yeah, ridiculous. Like I said, too Russian to be living in the West. You got to be a fucking yes boy like Anthony Joshua, aren't you?
Pretty much. Like for me, Kovalev's a beast. For me, like he's only lost it legitimately to Alvarez. The two Ward ones you can argue one is disqualification against Ward, the other one you can argue Kovalev on points. Is legit is the only legit loss is Alvarez. The other two with Ward are arguable, and then the rest of his career he's undefeated, and people think the guy is shot. He just beat Alida Alvarez, who most people would put heavy money on to beat Anthony Yarde tomorrow morning.
Do you believe that the Andre Ward defeat affected him mentally and his performances as well?
I think he's changed a little bit. He's gone into his boxing more than just trying to bully people. But I think that makes him even more dangerous because now he's not just trying to bully you out of the ring. He's using his boxing and setting his shots up more. I mean, against Alvarez in that rematch, he was no perfect. He was very hard to beat. And if he does that against Anthony Yarde, I think Anthony Yarde will get stopped on accumulation.
Yeah.
Like they'll pull him out. I think they'll pull him
No,
out.
I noticed one thing about Kovalev as well. I think what you said spot on. I think when he gets behind his boxing, I think he's a much better fighter. But he's also got that in him where he can go through and destroy someone like Golovkin used to do, or still does. But I feel when he did that, he blew his tank quite early, and he used to let fighters back into the fight. Because let's be real, I think he blew his tank against Ward. He was dominating that fight. The only reason Ward come back, obviously the low blows didn't fucking help either. But I think he started to flag early in that fight. I don't think he was in the best shape. I think when he kept it to his boxing, he was doing well. I think when he started, I think he hurt Ward, dropped Ward, sorry, and I think he got a bit power happy and went after the can. I think Ward's a bit too smart for that. He's not going to stand there with his fucking chin waving in the air. So here you go, Serge. Hit me right there. He's not, is he? He's going to be on his toes. He's going to be holding. And I think Kovalev didn't save enough in the tank, even though he got robbed. Let's be real on the first one. The second one was one of the most disgraceful fights I've ever seen. It actually put me off boxing. That fucking clown ref. I mean, he should be put in prison for that. Trust me. Terrible. I mean, that fight there, I don't think I watched boxing for about 2 or 3 weeks after that fight. I was disgusted by it. But yeah, I mean, like I said,
I didn't watch boxing for a month
the
after
Alvarez
that.
was, yeah.
After that fight, I didn't watch boxing for another month. I was absolutely fucking just disgusted.
Me too,
The
bro.
idea to me that you can hit a man in the dick 20 times in a fight, and get away with it, and the referee doesn't even get any retrospective ban is horrible. It just shouldn't be happening, and it shows you that politics, they control the sport.
Oh, of course it is. I mean, and that's on the back end of a terrible robbery that he had as well. I mean, you just felt sorry for the guy. You could see why his spirit went and he started getting on the drink again and he got knocked out by Alvarez. But like I said, it depends what Kovalev turns up. If the Kovalev turns up that we know, then Yard has no chance in hell. But if Kovalev turns up with other things on his mind, he's talking about Canelo Alvarez, there's rumours that he's back on the drink. Yard has a chance, doesn't he? Because he's a strong guy, he's a fit guy, and he's hungry. He's not coming to lose. That's one thing, Anthony Yard. He's coming to win. Whether he does or not's another matter, isn't it?
Is he
But at
going
least
to win or is he going to cash out?
Either way, he's going to be £4 million better off in the bank, isn't he?
Yeah.
So I just don't think he's ready. But at least that light heavyweights are starting to step up because I see a lot of people moaning about the light heavyweight division where a lot of them are ducking each other. There's a lot of good fighters out there. None of them are fighting each other, but we're getting like Yard Kovalev, we're getting Beterbiev v Vozic. I mean, that's a fucking fantastic fight. That's a fight I want to get onto next. What's your opinions on that one?
That could be the fight of the year. There's been a lot of fights that have flattered to deceive this year. Canelo Jacobs, Estrada Rungvisai too. They kind of let us down. But with Vojtic and Beterbiev, you've got two fighters who like to come forward, throw shots. Beterbiev's got that power jab, just that power jab off the 1-2 as well. He comes forward, and then you Vojtic, that counter punching, using those angles. They're both really hard hitters. And you can pretty much pick either guy, and one night you'll be right and the other night you'll be wrong. You know what I mean? I think it's the most
exactly
50-50 fight you can make in boxing, and I love it. I love that fight.
Yeah, I do. I can't split it because they're two totally different styles. You've got the real slick, real clever boxer in Vosnik, who's gonna, he's gonna do the classier work, that's for sure. But then you've got the pure brute and strength of Beterbiev. That seems to, when he just catches you, he seems to hurt you. And I think Vosnik could get hurt in that fight. He's gonna have to be at his best. I think when he fought Stevenson, he got caught with shots in the pocket with Stevenson. Left hooks as well. I just felt if he gets caught with them by Beterbiev, I think he's going to be in all sorts of bother. And the straight punches as well, Beterbiev. He's very methodical. It's a very Eastern European style that he's got, where he just sits behind that guard and throws them straight punches with venom in them as well. I mean, when he starts getting in the right range. But I feel with Beterbiev, he's very vulnerable himself. He showed that he can be hurt. And I think Vosnik, he's going to have to be his best. He's going to have to give a Usyk performance, but I think he's got it in him because he's the one guy that's actually that division that he's miles ahead when it comes to boxing skills. But in boxing, it's not just about skills. You've got to have the full package. And where Bivol brings something else, he brings a different dimension that could cause a lot of trouble.
Yeah, most definitely. The other thing though is, Beterbiev hasn't really been tested against anyone elite in the pros, and he is getting a bit older. And Volstik, as you mentioned, he had that fight with Adonis Stevenson, and he showed how powerful he is by putting the man in a wheelchair.
Yeah, coma. So
He
yeah,
comatose the guy and put him in a wheelchair, so he can hit too. And whilst Beterbiev, like when you say Volstik, we've seen him exposing caught with things and get hurt. We've also seen Beterbiev hurt against Callum Johnson, and I don't think Johnson hits quite as hard as Volstik, or as fast, or from the same angle.
Hey,
And
Stu.
that's what makes this fight even better. I feel like Beterbiev needs to be on his A game just as much as Volstik. Whoever brings their A game and the other brings their B game, the A game's going to win this fight.
Stu, you have a
So,
phone call. So, 585, you're on the air. 585.
Yes, how you guys doing? This is Vince.
Oh, well, you're on the air with Stu.
How you doing, Stu?
is that Vinny? Is that Vinny, our regular caller?
Yes, how you doing?
How you doing,
I
Vinny?
just
All right.
wanted
Good to have you on.
Yes, I just wanted to talk about the last show real quick. Mr. Rascal, I'll be waiting for you anytime, any place. And also, he's actually 50-1 since I told him Kovalev was a quitter, and the great Andre Ward made him quit. I just wanted to say that because what
I'll
happened
tell you
was
what,
my
Vinny.
phone got
Instead of
disconnected.
you
Yes.
coming on, right, saying your little piece and then shooting off without Ruscott being able to defend himself, this is called the BDA Arena. And,
That's fine. My apologies.
this is where you can
But
go with Rascott or one-on-one. We'll put it on live on air. You versus Rascott, Ward versus Kovalev topic. I'm
sure,
sure it'd be. Are you man enough to take that challenge?
of course.
Because
Anytime, any
anyone could
place.
just call in, take a few digs, and then put the phone down. We can all do that. Are you ready to take the challenge of Rascott? This is the BDA Arena. This
Sure.
is where you can get it off your chest.
Of course, I'm willing to take on the challenge. I'm willing to take on anyone on the panel. Also, I just wanted to say I'm going to go for a run real quick because I'm going to celebrate Yard's victory on Saturday with a victory run right now, and I will be calling in later, and I will be listening very closely. That's my call, Stu. Thank you, guys. Have a good day. I'll be calling
I
in
want to
later.
just ask you a question, Vinny. Now, are you picking
Sure.
Anthony Yard because you've seen something in this kid and you believe he's a better fighter than Kovalev, or are you picking him because you hate Sergei Kovalev because you think he's a Russian Nazi or something like that? What is the reason behind you picking Anthony Yard? I want to know that because
No, I
I'm
actually like
intrigued.
Kovalev. I think he's a future Hall of Famer as well, with all he's
Right?
accomplished. But when it comes to the elite, like the great Andre Ward, and now we have Anthony Yard coming up through the ranks. I think Yard. Have you seen the public sparring in Russia? I mean, he is he is what do you call it? He has tunnel vision, like they like to say. He has tunnel vision right now. That guy is built like a brick, and once he hits Kovalev with that left hook, Kovalev's gonna know. You know, he's gonna get wobbled because remember, Kovalev has been wobbled by guys that don't really punch. You know, so let's not forget
Like who?
that, guys. You know
Like
what I mean?
who?
And also, yes, well, a lot of people say Andre Ward can't punch, but when he
I'll tell you
punched
what.
him, he
Listen,
wobbled him with that
Andre, if
right hand, correct?
let you stand there with your chin in the air and let Andre Ward tee up on you and see if he can't punch. You'll be asleep
Well, of
for a
course, he's
week.
going to put
Let's,
me to sleep. Of course,
Ward is not a massive
I'm not a
puncher, but
fighter.
that shot he hit Kovalev with. It doesn't. Sometimes you don't have to be a massive puncher. You can hurt someone with a big shot if it's clean and it's timed correctly, and that's what happened. You know, Kovalev to me,
I,
I don't think he's got a weak chin. McGregor, can you just quickly take over this call? I've got a phone call. I need to take it. Can you quickly take over, bro?
Yeah, I can. Yo, Vinny, can I ask you a question, bro? Just this is unrivaled.
sure,
by
no
the way.
problem. What's your name, sir?
When you've watched Anthony Yard, which opponent of his was it that made you think this is the performance? Which guy was it in the ring that he was tested against that makes you think he can be Cole?
Well, believe it or not, even the last fight with Travis Reeves, everyone says he's got clocked, but to be honest, I mean those were grazing shots, and the way he just picked him apart, I was like, this is the guy. This is the guy I'm looking for. This is the one guy that I'm gonna root for here because he systematically picked him apart. I understand it's Travis Reeves, but the way he did it was surgical. And I think
Do
he
you
will
not
do
think
the same thing to
Kovalev could do
Kovalev
that
as
to
well.
Travis Reeves?
Yes.
I think Kovalev would probably knock out Travis Reeves in a round.
Are you? Well, see, this is the thing. Yes, Kovalev does have power, but once Yard starts blocking his power and comes back with his own ammunition, I don't think Kovalev has an answer for it. I don't think Kovalev is that good defensively, to be honest with you. Am I right or wrong in that assumption?
On the inside, no, but getting through his long and mid range is very difficult. You need extremely fast feet, and we saw Yard get caught with 1-2s by Seklocka, and Seklocka has no power, and he actually rattled Yard a little bit when he caught him with 1-2s. This is a guy who has 5 knockouts.
I wouldn't say rattled.
He's food. Yardy's food.
Yo,
Excuse
guys,
me,
we
who's
have
this?
recognized the Matrix in the chat. What up, Recognize?
What's up, everybody? What's up, panel? What's up, Vinny Mac?
How you doing, Recognize?
Doing swell.
This is the
Anytime you
guy.
call in, I'm happy.
This is the guy that's rooting for Kovalev.
Yes.
On the post-fight show, sir, I will be calling in and I will be calling you out. I want exact details, correct? You said you would do it for me.
I said I would do it if he wins, but I have a feeling I don't have to worry about that.
Okay, thank you. Well, I tell you what, if Yard loses, I won't be calling you on the show.
Oh, why not, Vinny Mac? You won't be calling in? Why?
No, you
I have
gotta
nothing
call
to
in.
say.
No, if Yard loses, you have to call in.
I have to call in?
Yep.
Yes, you have to make a promise on air
But
right now,
even if
or
I have
else
nothing
I'm
to
not.
say?
Yeah. Just
You
be
would
a
have something to
man.
say.
Be a man and show up.
How about this? How about instead of nothing to say, just say,
Okay,
you were
that's
right,
fine.
guys, I was
I'll
wrong.
show up. Sure.
What's happening, boys? I'm back. Sorry about that.
What's up, Stu?
What's up, my man? You right? Recognize?
What's going on? Had to
You can go
call
ahead
in.
with
I heard Vinny Mac
you were
talking to
Hey,
me.
good
you
to
were
have
gonna
you on,
say
mate.
something, sir?
Good to have you on. What's your opinion on this this Kovalev-Yard and Beterbiev v Vostik fight? Want to hear your opinions on that?
Well, I love the Beterbiev-Vosnik fight. That's gonna be that's a like really for me 50-50. I'm going slight edge with a gut feeling that Beterbiev is gonna beat him because he's too strong.
Yeah.
Um,
Can I say something about that fight, please?
Oh, I'm sorry, Vinny. Mac,
Hang
go
on a
ahead.
minute. Hang on a minute, Vinny. You can hold on. Let Recognize quickly say his piece, then you can jump in. Go on, Recognize.
Sure, no problem.
Thank you, Stu. And when it comes to the Yard fight, I'm sorry, I haven't seen anything from Yard that would tell me he would beat Kovalev. I think McGregor has pointed out his subpar competition and their knockout record, and I just think that this is a bad experiment to try to find out what you got against a guy like Kovalev in Russia. I can't see where he wins the fight. Let's see what happens, but I doubt it.
Anthony Jard was saying that he didn't drink no water for the first night he got in Russia because his bags, the Russians up to the old tricks again. His bags didn't fucking come off the plane, did he? Had to wait a day for his luggage, and, and his fucking water was in his luggage. So he was too paranoid to drink water in Russia. So he sat there dehydrated all night. I mean, that can't be good for your first night in Russia.
They poison him.
I tell you what, right? You say what you like, mate, but don't tell me the Americans don't do the same.
Of course they do.
Of course they do. Yeah, boxing's a sleazy sport. Let's be real.
Hey, hold on, Stu. Don't tell me it hasn't happened in England as well.
Yeah, of course.
It's
Of
happened.
course, yeah, it has done. Of course, it's happened everywhere. Let's be real. But the Russians get the worst stick for it. But you've got to take your advantages. I mean, let's be real. I don't think Deontay Wilder ever had any intentions of going over to Russia to fight Povetkin. I just don't think he ever would have took that fight. He signed on the dot and he made it look like he was going to go. But let's be real. I mean, I think Povetkin was set up in that one.
The
I
second
really.
something came up, he was out, bro.
Well, Wilder already made their statement, and according to them, he didn't fail it.
Right, Vinny, do you want to jump in, bro? Vinny.
Yes. Well, I just wanted to say that boxer, Artur Beterbiev, he scares me. That guy literally is the Terminator. That's one guy that I think could give Yard some problems once Yard gets through with Kovalev.
He'd not fucking Yard unconscious.
He's the only guy who can give Yard problems at light heavyweight.
Vinny Mac, they're really big on.
I think he's been smoking some of that fucking Yard weed, and that they get in Jamaica, mate.
Bro, I want what you're smoking. Even what I'm smoking ain't that strong, man. I'm smoking skunk.
Hey,
I mean, I thought people stopped doing LSD, but obviously not.
To be fair to Vinny, I mean, look, this is the one thing I will say. It's kind of stupid, but I'll say it anyway. Nobody's beating Yard, so he's undefeated. So
nobody's fought him.
That's not funny.
That's what
you're
I said.
Right on point. You're right on, sir.
That's why I said before.
No, that's not funny.
I said the unbeaten part. He hasn't fought nobody really, but he hasn't lost. So maybe Vinny Mac will be right at the end of the night. Who knows? We'll see.
I'm with you with that Vozic Beterbiev fight. I feel that Vozic's going to outbox him, but I just think he just needs that one moment, doesn't he, to land that big strong shot, and then once he's
just so strong. His last fight,
he is. But
his last fight proved that, man.
But I don't know if Vozic is that puncher that's going to starch Beterbiev with one shot. He's going to have to. I think this is going to be the best performance Vozic's ever done to win this fight, and I think he's still going to have his own.
If he hits him with that punch that he hit Stevenson with, he'll knock him out too. I think.
Yeah, but Stevenson was already hurt at the time, wasn't he? He's not like.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. He was already softened up, but that fucking punch was just Jesus, man. That was a bad. I mean, really bad.
That's a brilliant fight, and like I said, the light heavyweight division is starting to pick up now because these guys weren't fighting each other. I mean, Beterbiev's been around forever, man. Well, this guy, I mean, he's only had about 13 fights, hasn't he?
He's 34, Stu. You know that, right?
He came on the scene. Who is it? He knocked out someone. Who's the American he knocked out? In devastating style. He come after a few fights.
Yes,
I don't have it.
It was it starts with a K. I can't remember his name. Pretty good fighter.
Yeah, he did not. Come on, help me out here, guys. I forgot. He came on the scene years ago. Knocked out an American in Starling, and
Oh,
everyone thought,
what's the
yeah, this.
question?
Who did Beterbiev? He come through the scene and beat the quite good American, wasn't it? Early on in his career.
Tavares Cloud.
Cloud,
Yeah,
Tavoris
Cloud.
Cloud.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he destroyed
Tavares Cloud.
Cloud, and he came on the scene, and he looked like he was going to be the man, but he just went into isolation and wasn't fighting anyone, and fighting bums when he was fighting years, and the guy's gone nowhere in his career. And this is
Well,
this is
he's
the
had
signature
Yvonne
fight.
Michelle, who's really done nothing with him.
Now he's with the Zone. The fights will start to happen.
Oh, he's with the
He's
Zone.
not
I
with
thought
the
he was with
Zone. He's with
ESPN.
ESPN. He's with
Okay.
ESPN. Bivol's with the Zone.
Bivol, of course, it is. Yeah.
And
No,
Vosdick,
I
and
thought
Vosdick
no.
is
Hang on a
obviously.
sec. Hang on a sec. I meant Matchroom. He's with Matchroom, isn't he? Eddie Hearns. Beterbiev's with
No,
Matchroom.
Beterbiev's with Top Rank.
Well, I saw Beterbiev
Bivol's
come
with
out.
the Zone.
Thought
No,
Beterbiev was.
Beterbiev's with ESPN, and good for him. He should have never signed with fucking Yvonne Michelle. That was a bad. Yvonne Michelle was doing anything in it, and it seems that he was doing anything he could to keep him away from Stevenson. And obviously not for Stevenson, not for Beterbiev's sake. I believe it was for Stevenson's sake.
The Kovalev Stevenson fight, that's one that should have happened. I mean, they left that far too long, and so obviously no one wants to see that fight no more. But that was one that should have happened, never did. And this division, like I said, it's been a division of duckers, to be honest with you. And since
Yeah, honestly, yeah.
has been, and since Vodzik has come on the scene, I mean, I think once he took that belt off Stevenson, it sort of fucking opened it up a little bit, and because he'll fight anyone, he will. The Ukrainians don't duck people, do they? Let's be real. So
Serious
that's
question.
opened it up a little bit.
After Vosdick beating Stevenson, if he then unifies and beats Beterbiev, does he go into the top 10 pound for pound?
Yeah, definitely.
He's starting to make a strong case for himself. That's for sure.
Like, comatose and Adonis Stevenson, who was the longest reigning champion in the sport, by the way. He wasn't the longest reigning champion like in the division. In the sport, he was the longest reigning champion. Comatosing him and then beating Artur Beterbiev, who's one of the most feared pound for pound fighters on the entire planet, surely, and becoming a unified lineal champion, surely that gives you like some credibility to go into the top 10. Surely it does. If Errol Spence's number 6 with a win over a gimp leg Kell Brook
Yeah, it's
and
true.
a shot Peterson, and Vosdick doesn't go in there, that's fucking nuts.
I mean, I wouldn't blame people if they had Vosdick climbing on the top 10 pound for pound now. He's really good.
That light heavyweight division, when you look at some of the fighters in that division, I mean, it's a really exciting division. You've got, like I said, you've got Kovalev, Beterbiev, Vosik, you've got Bivol, you've got
Yard, you've
Yard, and
Bilachi,
you've
you've
got
Callum
Kowalski.
Johnson, you've Joe Smith
Yeah,
Jr., you've Marcus Brown, Jean
exactly.
Pascal.
Just going to say, Pascal got a brilliant win the other day. I mean, how did that happen? Pascal hasn't looked like he's going to win a fight for about a decade now, and he just pulls that out of the fucking bag. Just shows you how bad the guy was that he fought. Do you know what I mean? I forgot his fucking name.
Well,
I'm tired, man.
but here's the thing. Most people were like, oh, Pascal, he's done. Oh, Bivol's going to beat Pascal, he's nothing. It shows how good Bivol is, because the only people who've beaten Pascal, right, is Bivol, Kovalev twice, Bernard Hopper, Carl Froch, and Alida Alvarez. They're the only people who've beaten him.
Yeah.
They're all elite at light heavyweight.
Yeah, like I said, that division. I mean, if the World Boxing Super Series going properly, without all these problems, and they got a solid foundation, that light heavyweight division would have been a masterpiece if they could have got them in the tournament. Can you imagine that tournament? I mean, you could even stick Badu Jack in there to make the fucking numbers up. He's no bum, is he? I mean, it's
You
a
can
real
pick anyone. You can pick
yeah.
anyone.
solid division, and hopefully we're going to get the fights now because it needed to happen. And obviously, I just want to get onto a different topic quickly while we're here because the next topic's Golovkin v Derevyanchenko. I mean, what's your guys'
Stu,
opinions on that
before
one? I think it's a good fight. I'm not
be-
over the moon about
I
it,
just
but
have
it's a
one
fight
thing
I'll
to say,
definitely
Stu,
watch.
about
Oh, is Vinnie Mac still on the line?
Yeah, I didn't even know Vinny was still there. Fuck me.
yes, I just have one more
Oh.
thing to say. Say Yard beats Kovalev. Where do you guys rank Yard pound for pound? Thank you.
If he beats
Well,
Kovalev, one win on his resume, a world title, one world title, I don't put him into the top 10 pound for pound.
there's nowhere near it.
I put him into the top 4 in the light heavyweight division, and then if he can go and unify with a Bivol or a Vostik, then he starts getting talked.
If Pascal beats, if Yard beats Kovalev and he does it in impressive fashion, I'm gonna put him wherever I may have Spence at over Spence. Because Yard
recognize, are you
beating
smoking?
Kovalev will have a much better win than anything Spence has.
Yeah, but to be fair, if you look at that Ring Magazine list and you see Spence
Are
there,
you kidding me right now?
and then you realize that there are guys who are 10 times the fighter that Spence is nowhere near. Like you've got a Santa Cruz and you've got a Kazuto Ioka, a 4-weight world champion and stuff like that, who aren't even touching the top 10.
Oh yeah, Yard is he's
For me, you know, it's going to take more than to beat a pound for pound guy. Kovalev's on that pound for pound list because he's got great wins and he's reigned that division for a long time. I mean, to
He's
beat
not
him,
even in the pound for pound list. He's not in it.
well, he's in mine. I don't care what any other pound for. Do you think I give a fuck what some fat bum that's never thrown hands in his life has to say? Do you know what I mean? Like Dan Raphael or someone like that. I don't give a toss. He's in my pound for pound list. He deserves it. He reigned that division. Great wins. Let's be real. Andre Ward's one of, like they call him an all-time great, and he beat Andre Ward in the first fight. Let's be real. He came. I mean, I know Nathan Cleverly's not a great win, but he came to Wales and fucking beat Cleverly all over the place. Cleverly had never been stopped, never been hurt, and Kovalev smashed him to pieces. Constantly. I mean, he beat Pascal, nearly killed Pascal.
I just wanted
So
to say,
he's
recognize
got.
that was the most
Hang on a minute,
blasphemous
Vinny. You
thing I
can't
ever
just
heard
jump
from
in,
you.
bruv. Butcher might let you do that. I ain't gonna. You come in. So yeah, Kovalev, he's earned his right to be on the pound for pound. So for Yard to beat Kovalev at the end of his career, sort of thing, I mean, it's going to take more than that. Yard's going to go and have to build his own legacy. He's going to have to recognise it, go and defend it, and unify it against someone like Vosic or beat Bivol or someone like that. Then yeah, but you know, you can't just have one lucky win. It's like Andy Ruiz. Are we going to say Andy Ruiz is the best heavyweight in the world now because he got a win against Anthony Joshua? Some people might. I'm definitely not going to say that. He's number 4 on my list. Win. That's what I'm saying.
I agree with you. I got Kovalev in my top 10 pound for pound for sure.
Go ahead,
Stu.
Vinny.
My top 10 pound for pound's been publicised. We all know I don't have him in there.
Yes, Stu, can you hear me?
What about you, Vinny Mac? If he beats Kovalev, where do you rank Yard?
Yeah.
Vinny Mac.
I would literally have to consider him around. I don't know. I'll just be so excited. I probably won't even make a pound for pound list yet. But if he wins, I'm just going to celebrate the victory for now, and then I'll think about that later.
Hang on a minute. Can I just interrupt here? Because I think we've got a guest that
Yeah.
a lot of people have been asking about for quite a long time. And I'm glad to have him on my show so he can help us out. Butcho, go ahead with the intro,
I
bro.
had a bad trip at a wedding in Maine, and it was a stormy night, right? I'm on LSD. Oh, I was fucking freaking out. It was horrible. I'll never take it again.
What's up, Jimmy?
Is that Jimmy?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yep.
Did I fuck
What's
this
up,
thing
Jimmy?
up, man? What's going on,
Jimmy.
boys? I've never been. What's happening?
Devil are you, brother? I'm the devil
How
are
you guys doing? Hey, if I just suddenly, if I mute it out of nowhere, it's because my dogs will be barking. I got somebody coming by, so they go nuts when someone comes here. but if I suddenly mute, that's why. How you guys doing, man? I haven't heard
Good,
from you
Jimmy.
guys in a while. I haven't talked to anybody.
It's good to have you on, bro. I mean, we heard that you was going through a few issues. We was all a bit worried
Yeah.
about you. We're all a bit worried about you. Not heard from you for a while, so it's good to have you on, man. It really is.
Yeah, I saw you were having a show. It's just my girl, you know what I mean? Been complications with that fucking illegal immigrant running her over and shit in front of my house. So been dealing with that bullshit. She almost lost her leg, but anyways, that's that. Man, what the fuck? Boxing, a lot of weird shit been going on there, huh?
It's been
So what's up
sucked.
with Anthony? This Anthony Yard, I see a lot of people thinking he's gonna. I see on Twitter because that's where I, obviously go before I go on the show. A lot of people are saying Yard. They think Yard's gonna smoke him. My only question is, what are they basing that off of? I mean, is it just sheer size? Are they just looking at the man? I mean, he's got a fucking gallon neck. He's a big dude.
I think that's some of it. I think they look at his physique and they say, Kovalev has been knocked out. He's lost a couple of fights. Maybe he's there for the taking. Or I think boxing fans have become so cynical about like somebody going to like Russia that they're probably saying there must be a reason why he's going to Russia. They
Because
must know that he's gonna win. So
right,
maybe be a little bit
these
that.
brainwashed sheep. They think that Kovalev's in somewhere in Siberia in a gym injecting roids into himself, doing the Drago training. Like they think that's honestly happened. They've been brainwashed to think that's what happens in Russia. So I mean, look at Yard. He won't even drink the water there. I mean, come on, man. So it's a brainwash thing where the Russians have always been known as cheats, but they're no different to everyone else. Just that everyone calls the Russians out for it. And let's be real, it's about time Sergei Kovalev got a bit of home advantage. The guy's been fighting on the road for life. And look what happened to him in America. I mean, one of the worst, well, the most disgraceful thing I've seen in the boxing ring for a long time. One of the worst things to happen to boxing. So, he deserves a home fight and he deserves a bit of home comforts. And Anthony Yard's getting paid well for it. $4 million, by the way.
4 million?
Yeah.
Really? Wow, that's big coin for his first time in the deep end. That's
But
actually
let's be
big
real.
money.
Resumes don't win your fights. Just because Anthony Yard hasn't beat anyone decent. I mean, I'm looking at it. He's not good enough for Kobe, but it doesn't mean he can't win this. This guy could turn up on the night, everything falls into place. Kovalev's having an off night. He lands a big shot. His life changes. That's what I'm saying. Just because he hasn't beat anyone doesn't mean he can't win this. I just think Sergei Kovalev's just that bit step too far. It's like I said earlier. It's like taking the armbands off and then jumping in the middle of the sea, the ocean. You're not going to do that, are you? You're going to learn to fucking swim gradually, sort of thing. And I think that's what he should have done.
Well, just with his size, I mean, you're that big, you land on somebody. I mean, like you said, it's a fight. You catch him sleeping, you get Kovalev. The worst thing for Kovalev is if he dominates him early with the jab, then you end up getting lazy. And then the kid comes over with one of those sneaky rights. The only thing, he does a lot of that left hand way down by his side stuff, and he depends a lot on his legs for his defense to jump out of there. That's fine when the first few rounds, but I'm curious if this thing goes to distance. What is he going to be like with that gallon neck and those boulder shoulders? They're going to feel like a bus on his back
They
come
will
the
do.
9th, 10th, and 11th round. You know what I mean?
The thing is,
Believe me, that size, when you carry weight like that, it's tough.
he's only ever fought his own pace, Jimmy, where he can pick his moments, and beat these guys up at his own pace, save energy. He's going to be taken into deep waters in this fight. And that's when you'll find out: is he going to be like Anthony Joshua, where the lights are shining and then he fucking freezes, falls to pieces, or is he going to war it out and prove us all wrong? I don't think he will. I think he will go in his shell, and I think that the problem with him holding that left hand down. The way he fights, I mean, Kovalev's got one of the best right hands in the business. The straight right hand is one of the best in the business. And if he lands that clean on Yard, I don't care who Yard thinks he is. He's going to sleep. So,
And he's accurate as fuck, too. Kovalev is accurate with that right
one of
hand
the best in
when he
the
lets it
business.
go.
One of the best in the business. So, for me, holding that left hand down is a no. And obviously, I just think with all the muscle you said as well, the muscle could be a hindrance when you need a tank, when you need stamina. I mean, like I said, the way he's built, he's a bit like Joshua. I think he's going to empty his tank pretty quickly if he's been dragged into a fight. He's all right when he's fighting his own pace, but I think if you pick up the pace and get him into a fight, he's going to fall to pieces. And I think that's what will happen.
It's just the oxygen, just trying to push oxygen through all that muscle. You know what I mean? It just becomes rough. Just how many fighters you've ever seen built like that who are known to go into deep waters and carry it? Very seldom. I guess Evander Holyfield was one of the exceptions. But even towards the end, there's many a times that he was sucking wind. It's hard. It's very hard to keep your condition up with that kind of muscle mass. And on top of that, he struggles to make light heavyweight. At least that's what they were saying before his last fight. So you got to take that into consideration too.
Brit Mark 2 says in the chat that Yard has to be patient and work to the body, and I think he's spot on. Yard does have to be patient. I don't think Yard can go in there throwing bombs at Kovalev, missing out of range, taking away a lot of energy. I think he's going to have to be. It's going to be very Deontay Wilder like, where because Wilder can be very quiet in rounds, and he sort of waits his moments. I think that's how Yard's going to have to be because, like I said, I think the tank's going to empty. I think nervous energy as well. When being in Russia. He's fought in Frank Warren events, where there's probably 3 men in it and a fucking burger stall. The only noise you can hear is the guy mopping the floor. So it's not like he's going to be in Russia, another country, another time zone. There's a lot on his plate, and I just don't think he's ready for it.
And he's got to stay in mid-range. You're right, too. I agree with everything you just said. And ideally, if you fight Kovalev, everything's best off range with him. You know what I mean? He does his best work at range. So
I just said that.
You know what I mean? Ideally, you want to crowd him. You want to try to stay, you know what I mean? Get down a little bit, put your head down around his chest height and try to stay in there. You don't want to ever step back on him because if he's at range, he's going to pick you apart.
You have to get in the pocket and you have to rough him up. You have to hit him with body shots, uppercuts. You have to lean on him and maul him like Ward did. Because one thing with Kovalev, when he gets in the hold, he seems to just hold himself. It's not. Sometimes he holds a lot himself, so he's actually burning his own energy sort of thing. And then he starts to flag when he. I think that's what Ward did because when Ward tried to box him on the outside, he was getting pieced up. It's only when Ward took it to the trenches and started roughing him up, and that's when Kovalev sort of fell to pieces. And I still had him winning the first fight. Don't get me wrong, the second one was tragedy, but that's where Yard has to do his best work. But Yard is no Andre Ward, is he?
No, and Kovalev too is an underrated jab. He has an underrated jab. If he can just pick him, keep him at, like you said, ideally take him into deep waters. The kid's never, like you said, always fought at his own pace. Is always chasing his man down. You know what I mean? He gets to determine when he's going to fight, when he's not going to fight. Just keep piecing him with the jab, keep him at bay, and then once he starts, you see him start breathing through his mouth, turn it on. That if I was Kovalev, that would be my game plan. But
Stu, you have another phone call. 438, you're on the air. 438.
438, you're on air. Go ahead, bro. 438.
You guys hear me? Do you guys hear me or nah?
Yeah.
I'm gonna give my prediction on Kovalev Yard. I think after this fight, Kovalev will be probably 1 fight away from being a serial killer. I think he finishes Yard pretty quick.
Old statement. Yeah. What makes you think that then? Is that Steven Schneider on there?
No, it's Jackson.
Jackson, hello Jackson. I remember you. So what makes you think that this fight's going to be a quick one then? Have you not seen anything from Yard to convince you he can hang around, land a punch?
I think he doesn't have the experience to hang in there with Kovalev. I mean, he gets hit pretty cleanly and by guys that are unheard of. So Kovalev is still very strong, even though he's old, and there's no way Yard's getting by the jab. I mean, I would bet everything on Kovalev this fight.
Well, usually your power's the last to go.
But Kovalev's not the sort of man Kovalev's not the sort of man I'd be confident putting my house on. Even though I'd fancy him to win a fight very comfortably. You just don't know what Sergei Kovalev's going to turn up on the day. I mean, if this guy decides that he just don't fancy it anymore, and he's gone to Russia to his local bars and got pissed up for most of the training camp, then Yard, excuse me, Yard has a massive chance because Yard's going to be fit, Yard's going to be hungry, and that's one thing he has got on his side.
And he didn't look too good last time, right, in Russia?
You are right on that.
This is it. Kovalev's not the sort of guy right now. Back in the day when he was at his peak, yes, but right now Kovalev's not the sort of guy I'd want to bet my house on. Not because of his ability, because of his mental state and his other habits.
Last time in Russia, didn't he? Well, that was he didn't look too good then, too, right?
We fought Chilemba.
That was a horrible fight, wasn't it? Yeah.
Terrible.
And he even blamed it on his homecoming. He even said it was because he was at home and he was partying with all his boys. But he's with somebody now who won't put up with that shit. They'll call him out on it, you know? He's not there just for a paycheck.
Yeah, I agree. I think Buddy McGurk and stuff definitely is boxing, and I think that's what he does best. Obviously, this guy can steamroll for anyone because he has that power, but he's not a Golovkin sort of fighter.
And he does well with head cases. He look what he did with Arturo Gotti.
Yeah, he has to work off the jab, though. He has to work off the jab and land his straight punches. That's where he's at best, at range. And I think Buddy McGurk is... we've lost Recognize and McGregor. What's happening?
Let me agree with you real quick. I think say what would you think if you know for a fact Kovalev is training 100% and you're going to get the same Kovalev that fought Alvarez? Would you bet your house if it was that same Kovalev? You know he's not drinking. He's taking this fight serious because it's in Russia, and then you would probably bet your house, wouldn't you?
Yeah, if you can prove to me that that's the case, then yeah, of course, you could do that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, unless you're like Kato's trainer and sleeps in the unless you sleep in the same bed as him, like Kato's fucking trainer did with him. You know, you're not going to know. Go ahead.
Can I ask you, because I haven't been keeping up on this, but how's the blood between them? Is it bad? I mean, has it been like anything back and forth? Do they seem to dislike each other? Is basically what I'm asking.
And Anthony Yard's not that sort of guy. Anthony Yard's a nice guy. He is. He's a nice guy, man. There's nothing wrong with the guy.
Okay.
He's humble.
All right.
He's a humble lad.
Cool.
Listen, he's a humble lad. He's a good-looking lad. He's got a fucking Adidas contract with Adidas. Got things going for him. He can fight a bit.
Reminds me.
So I've got no problem with this lad. It's just he's in with a lion now. It's all good fucking picking on the hyenas, but when you're in there with the lions, it's a different fucking kettle of fish. And this is my problem with Yard. I just don't think he's ready. In a couple of years, he would be ready. I think this guy's only going to get better. He's got no amateur pedigree, so he's learning on the job. But like I said before, this is the worst fight for him to learn on the job. You can't be learning on the job when you're in there with Sergei Kovalev. Do you know what I mean? Because look what happened to B-Hop. I mean, this guy was a veteran, a legend of the ring. I mean, he spoiled everyone, made everyone look bad, and Kovalev beat that guy up terribly. Massive beating. So
let me ask Jimmy a question.
This guy's a hard. When Kovalev's on his ball, on his game, fucking very hard guy to beat.
Yard could use that inexperienced, no amateur experience to his advantage by doing something in there that Kovalev wouldn't expect. Keeping his hands up, just doing a couple of things different that wouldn't be on film, because he's that raw.
Yep.
I think the caller wanted to say something.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I think my phone, I don't think it's going through that clearly, but I wanted to say to Jimmy, if you only have 13 amateur fights and then you have 15 pro fights, and most of them have been by stoppage, he has no experience. I mean, if you look at how Pacquiao beat Thurman, it was all old boxing tricks. How is Yard going to deal with Kovalev, who's a great amateur and is a great professional? How is he going to deal with that?
Well, the question's unanswered at the moment. We don't know. This guy could thrive, but some fighters actually thrive on being away. Look at Usyk. sometimes the people that like people booing at them, they perform on that. They get off on it, and it makes them perform better. Like Usyk, he'll go anywhere in the world and perform well. Some fighters like are home trap bullies, like Anthony Joshua, where you take him out of his comfort zone and he falls to pieces and has panic attacks. So it just depends, isn't it? You know, we don't know that with Yard because Yard hasn't even left. Has he even left fucking East London yet, or wherever he's from? I don't think he's even left London yet. This is the first time, so we'll know on Saturday night. I just hope it's not fucking Drago
Yeah,
Apollo Creed. Fuck's sake.
Yeah. All right. Yo, thanks, guys. I just want to give my opinion. Thanks for having me on. Appreciate it.
Yeah, good having you on, Jackson.
And to your point, Stu, at that level too, when you're fighting at that level, everything is supposed to be completely reactionary. Like when that's the reason why you know to clinch when you're hurt, or you know to do things when you're not. It should be like you can walk through a door, you leave only a certain amount of room between your shoulder and the door casing so you don't hit it. It's just common sense. You just do things reactionary. And if you're not fighting at that level like that, that's dangerous. You know what I mean? Everything has to be without thinking. And I watched one of his fights. His last fight was it against? I watched it last night to see, and yeah, no, it was like that. Definitely. Oh,
Me? I don't know what happened there.
Yeah.
Jimmy's cut off.
Apology once in.
Yeah.
Should I let apology in? Do you have enough? Do you think?
Yeah, apology can come in. What's happened to McGregor and Recognise?
I don't know. I don't know.
sorry guys, did I fall off?
Yeah, you're back.
Oh, you can hear me? I'm getting a wicked delay. Like I can hear my voice like 2 seconds after I say everything. So I apologize in advance if I'm talking over people and shit. I got to get a better device, I think.
I want to move on from this Kovalev-Yard topic now because we've done like quite a bit on this. I want to talk about this Triple G v Derevyanchenko fight. What's your opinion on that, Jimmy? Is this a good fight for Triple G at this stage of his career, or is this
I think it is.
a disappointing?
No, I
would you
think
prefer to see him?
No, I have no problem with this fight because it answers some questions. A lot of people talk smack, which really isn't important, but a lot of people remember he was ducking him and all this other thing. But now that he has lost to like Jacobs, it takes a little of the, I don't know, steam out of it. But this kid's a sturdy dude. He can hit. I don't think he's been knocked out yet, has he? I don't believe so. So I mean, there's different things he can get a feather in his cap out of that. If he's the first one to say blast the kid out, that looked good. Yeah, no, I mean, there's worse fights he could have had. I mean, who was that other kid, Steve Rolls?
Oh yeah, it was terrible.
You know what I mean? So
I got a lot of stick on this show for bashing that fight because I thought it was a dreadful fight. I mean, out of any won a fight, he picks up fucking cheese roll, whatever his name is, picks him out. And let's be real, the guy's is he awake yet? Is he awake? I don't know. It was a terrible fight.
What do you think about this fight?
Much better fight. I mean, Golovkin much for him to choose from at the moment. We're not sure. I don't think Canelo wants to fight him anytime soon. So I don't think that fight's going to happen anytime soon. Then the other options, you've got Billy Joe Saunders. Not sure what weight he's fucking fighting at. You've got that don't really want to fight anyone on that level. I know they're calling out Golovkin, but let's be if Golovkin calls their bluff and accepts, mate, they'll fucking cancel that in a heartbeat. They don't want that. They don't want that Golovkin work right now. They've got Korobov problems before they worry about fucking people like Golovkin, and they've got Tony Harrison problems. Do you know what I mean? I mean, get out of here. So there's not a lot of options for him. Jacobs. I'd have liked to seen Jacobs Golovkin again. I don't know why people haven't called for that fight because I thought Jacobs made a good account of himself. I thought it was a lot closer than what people thought. I had Golovkin winning it, but I thought it was not a very good performance by Golovkin. I'm going to be honest with you. I got a lot of stick on this show for saying that. I just didn't think it was a very good performance. I don't think Jacobs was great himself, but fine. Would I want to see it again? Yeah, I would want to see it again. I think it's a lot more competitive than fight would be on someone else.
But this time, if there was to be a rematch, I think Jacobs would lose his big advantage, and that was the size. That whole size thing he pulled. You know, I'm sure they would eliminate that.
We've got apology on the line, Butcho. Do you want to?
Go ahead. I can find your intro.
Apology, you there?
Yeah.
Hello?
Go ahead.
Saying, brother.
What's up?
You call yourself Godspeed now, dear.
Yeah.
Go to church, apology. Are you a Christian, brother?
No, not really. But
Of course as well.
kind of follow Christian value.
You seem like one of them guys that just goes around in a suit all the time and.
Yeah, I'm like Al Sharpton, but for Christian.
Well, anyway, get back to the boxing. Apology. What's your opinion on these fights, bud? Golovkin v Derevyanchenko. We'll start there.
It's a decent fight. Derevyanchenko is the top 10 fighter, but Golovkin, even at his age, is still on another level. I think he should beat him quite handily.
Yeah. Like I said, Golovkin has to be winning this, especially if he wants that. I think Golovkin wants another fight with Canelo, and I think he's going to call it a day. I don't think he's going to be around too much. I mean, that's probably why he's taken this fight. Get a couple of DAZN paydays, and then the big one with Canelo, and I think he'd be gone. So it's not a bad fight for me. I mean, it could have been a lot worse. Let's be real. Kovalev-Yard apology. I've not heard your opinion on that.
On which fight?
Kovalev-Yard.
Oh, I don't know, man. It feels a fight Kovalev should win early. I mean, easily, but we know how Kovalev is.
Yeah.
So I'm a bit, out the back of my mind, I'm a bit,
I'm the
worried
same.
about Kovalev.
I'm the same, bro. I'm the same. I'm confident Kovalev's going to win this fight, but in the back of my mind, something's saying, if he doesn't turn up in good shape, right place, then Yard could beat him. Because Yard's not a chump. Let's be real. Yard's not a chump. He can bang a bit, and he's got skills. It's just experience for me. And like I said,
the last three fights, Kovalev's been, outside the ring. He's been like partying, getting in trouble with women. Now he's doing it again. Apparently, he threw money at women during when he was on a plane or something.
Yeah, but
He
fucking
does seem
Floyd,
to do this again.
Floyd Mayweather and Brown have been doing that for years. What's the problem?
It's not that. It's like, well, Floyd can like manage it. That's the thing. He knows how to separate his time, but Kovalev seems to be.
Like I said, I don't think Kovalev's too Russian for America and the West, especially in the UK and places like that. He's got old school Eastern European ways, and all the cooks around here are not going to like that, are they? They don't like the Russians because they don't like. Do you know why they don't like the Russians? Because the Russians kicked out the communists and the Marxists out of their country, and it became a lot better place when that happened. Now we got to do the same, haven't we? But that's another topic.
They all fled to America and the UK.
And look at them brainwashing our kids into fucking being soya boys and.
Yeah.
Just take over a sec, apology.
Right. Is it just me on?
No, I'm here.
What happened to everyone else?
No, Jim is there, I think.
Yes, I'm here.
All right.
So Jimmy, what do you think Kovalev, if he wins, should he take the winner of Bivol, sorry, not Bivol, Vostik, Batavia, or should he fight someone else?
That would be, yeah. I mean, why not, right? I mean, it might as well go chase the money. That would be probably his biggest money fight.
I don't think Jimmy's there, is he?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah. No, I don't know. Depends on how much damage, if any, he takes in this Yard fight. If this is an easy fight, yeah, why not? If he looks good, feels good. Because remember, at this time, he's also fighting Father Time, like Triple G. You know what I mean? Every opponent they fight, they have to factor in their age now.
G, you there?
You only have so many left. You don't want to fucking grow old overnight in the ring, you know?
Yeah, Stu, can
But
you
the
hear
thing
me?
is, the Canelo fight is there apparently.
All right. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Apologize.
Yeah, the Canelo fight is there apparently. I don't believe Canelo wants to fight Kovalev, but apparently he made an offer. So
Still, he's got balls, Canelo, isn't he? I mean, a lot of people call Canelo a ducker and everything. I just don't get it.
Well,
That guy's willing to fight anyone. I mean,
if you talk to the two,
he
if
was
you
a
listen,
small 160 guy. Not
Mm.
not for weight or anything, for reach and size. You want to be a bit bigger than that when you're a middleweight, but because he's quite short and stocky, obviously that's where the weight carries. So he's not like a small middleweight in weight, but in frame size. And I think he was giving away attributes for him to go up to 175. I mean, it's one thing going up to fight Rocky fucking Fielding or Rocky Folding that we call him on this show.
Hmm.
Knock him out in the round because fucking Callum Smith did that to 175 and fight someone like Kovalev. But I think with Canelo probably seen something with Kovalev where if he can hold Kovalev's shots, like I said, with the body shots, Canelo's one of the best body puncher in the business. I think he could take Kovalev's legs away from him in the latter rounds, and he could cause an upset. I'm not saying that can happen, but that's probably what he's thinking. And Canelo's definitely got the talent to beat Kovalev. I just think the size might be a bit too much.
well, the kid who sparred both
Give it
Canelo
a
and
knock.
Triple G many times, what was his name? Booth? No, Boone. Yeah, Boone. He sparred Kovalev tons of rounds, sparred Triple G
Apology.
tons of rounds.
All right.
Can
What
you guys
happened?
hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So I'm
Good
sorry.
show.
I can't now. I can't hear myself.
Yeah.
I don't hear anything.
No one's
No, hold on,
responding.
Jimmy. There's something wrong with Stu. Stu, what's up? Stu.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's wrong? You keep saying apology. Can you hear us?
Oh no, I'm not hearing anything. I'm saying things and then it's just cutting out, and I'm not hearing anything.
Oh.
Oh, okay. That's why. I when I heard him say apology, I'm like, Jesus. I think I'm
Yeah,
talking to
yeah.
myself like an idiot here.
He must be used to because I don't
It
see
must
any
be. It
problems.
must be, bro.
But I was going to say, Boone, who sparred both those guys numerous times, said emphatically stated Triple G was the harder puncher and the better boxer.
Hmm.
That's what he said. He said, I sparred both Kovalev and Triple G the same amount of times. And that's what he said. So, who's to say? But I'm just saying, maybe that has something to do with, and he knows he's getting older. But like that would be. Now, can I say that I heard the one thing I have heard recently is that over in Golden Boy, speaking of Canelo, man, he's like pissing a lot of people off. I guess him and the dude who was what's his name? Eric, I believe his
Eric
name is.
Gomez.
Yeah, I guess they're, from what I heard, they're almost not even on speaking terms right now. Like
The
they'll be in the room,
matchmaker.
they won't even talk to each other. Yeah,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
Canelo's treating the place like something he stepped in. He gets fucking angry easy. Who knows? He might be the type of person if they give to. I just know Golden Boy's got a fucking. They got that new kid coming up, that tall Mexican.
The
Yeah, he
welterweight.
looks good, but yeah,
Yeah.
Canelo, and then that thing with the zone, that thing's not going to end well. If he's going to start telling them who is he going to fight, when he's going to fight, when they paid him that kind of money, that shouldn't end well either.
Apparently, Canelo's gonna fight in November, so that's settled. That's what I heard. Um, but hold on, guys. We have a phone call. Here we go. 203. You're on the air. 203.
203 representing what's going on, gentlemen. It's revolution.
Yo, what's up?
Chilling, man, chilling. I'm just gonna get off a couple little quick
Canelo's
questions
brother.
and let you guys keep
Yeah.
talking. And I don't want to hog up any airtime.
Go ahead.
So first of all, I want to jump on mainly because Jimmy, welcome back, man. Good to hear from you.
Thank you, brother. Thank you very much.
Well, yo, Jimmy, first of all, we gotta have a little non-boxing talk, man. Oh, the fucking Bruins, bro. What happened, man? I'm still suffering.
Choke. That's all I'm gonna say. Choke. Broke my heart. At home, Game 7, and it was a choke. Oh man, that was terrible. But yeah.
Didn't they look beautiful for the first 10 minutes though?
Yeah. Yeah, no, man, Jesus,
You look
2019's
great,
been a
and
kind of
then
a kick in the
that one
nuts for
little
me,
quick
but
hold. Word. And also, Jimmy, I want to ask you real quick. I don't want to make a whole show about the trivia, but have you heard the trivia show, Jimmy, that we did?
yes, I know. I listened to it after the fact. Yeah, no, it's great. You guys, I'm telling you, the show's starting.
Hell
Nice.
yeah.
Even on Twitter, the response. Show's gonna fucking got a good panel, good people here. BDA they put on a good
Hell
product,
yeah.
man. They're fair to everybody. They give
Hell
everybody
yeah.
an opportunity, enough rope to hang themselves. They treat everybody with respect. So a lot of knowledge, man. I'll tell you, I've been around this
I'll
game a
tell you
long
what,
time. You guys know what you're talking about in this panel. They
Jimmy,
really do.
you missed a good one last week. I mean, it'd have been right up your street. Is there racism in boxing? I mean,
That's the one. It's in my. I want to listen to that one. Well, that one I have put aside. I'm going to listen to that when I have no distractions. Because I mean, that's ridiculous. I've never seen it. Like I said, I went to my first championship fight in 1981. Marvin Hagler against Antonio and Fremo. I was 14. So you know what I mean? It's been a lot of years, and I've never seen it like. I've seen it when it was the Italians against the Irish. There was a lot of bad blood there, a lot of shit being yelled back and forth. But it's white people against white people. But I've never seen where it's so the tribalism is just so. It's just I don't know.
First boxing match I ever went to, my dad took me to watch Nigel Benn versus Gypsy Carmen. It was
Nigel
when he
Benn,
was
that dude could crack.
just come
Man,
out
he
of the
could
army.
hit.
The guy had just come out of the army and he'd get a bit of reputation. And my dad said, "Go and watch some boxing." And he told me about it. He goes, "This." At the time, I think his name wasn't the Dark Destroyer. I think his name was fucking Big Ben or something like that. Nigel Big Ben or something stupid like that.
Isn't he rumored to have? Some people say probably one of the hottest punches in boxing. That's
Well,
what they
yeah,
say. I've heard about him.
yeah. I mean, it just shows you how good a chin Chris Eubank Senior's got because he took some bombs. I mean, Ben was a big puncher, but he was very vulnerable himself. He was like, when Nigel Ben was fighting, the reason it was so exciting is because in a fight, and next minute, he's on the canvas. And it just made him exciting all the other way around, like Joe McClellan. Fucking hell. Joe McClellan was beating him to a pulp, weren't he? And then all of a sudden, he just found a bit of confidence. He landed a big shot and found a bit of confidence that got the crowd up. And he just kept swinging bombs with McClellan. And when you get into a war with Nigel Benn, it's the worst thing to do. I mean, the guys that troubled Nigel Benn was Sugarboy Malinga. He always troubled him because he was a boxer, kept him at range. And he stopped Ben, I think. Sure he did. I know he beat him. Michael Watson gave Ben all sorts of fucking. I think it was Michael Watson that beat Ben, wasn't it?
Well, Stu, let me ask you: if you would
Sorry,
have every
Eubank beat him. Who else beat him? Yeah, he just lost to boxers. I mean, with brawlers, like Henry Wharton was a brawler at the time. And them sort of
everything
fighters.
even, would you take out everything even? Chin power. Would you go with most of the time a skilled boxer over a brawler? And you're like, which way do you lean? Do you
It
usually
depends.
go with?
It depends who the brawler is. It depends who the brawler is.
I
It's
tend to
like
go with the talent, the boxing talent. Usually that will outwin. If say somebody doesn't have a lot of amateur experience,
yeah.
whatnot. I'm saying everything even. It's the guys who do everything second, without even thinking second thought.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I do prefer the brawler sort of fight because Nigel Benn couldn't box for toffee. Watch how he fought. He did everything wrong because even his trainer Kev Sanders said this guy couldn't box for couldn't box for shit. He had other attributes that he had a big art. He was a big puncher.
Same thing with Mike Tyson. You wouldn't
Right.
show Mike Tyson. You wouldn't show Mike Tyson films to a kid like his right hand. I mean, he would leave his feet. He would do all kinds of things, but he was just such a fucking powerhouse. He just crushed you. But same thing. Yeah.
That's why
Revolution.
Eubank. I mean, that's why Eubank had his number. I don't know if he had his number because I think the second fight, Ben, but the first fight, because just Ben went in there to blow Eubank's head off, and Eubank, a smart boxer, you can't do that with clever fighters, can you, Jimmy? You know,
No.
you can't just go in there swinging. They're gonna pick you apart.
Pick your pot, exactly.
It was a bit like David Lemieux when he fought Saunders. You know, he just couldn't get near Saunders, could he?
That's a perfect example right there. I mean, put them in the street. I put my money on fucking Lemieux because you know what I mean with the power. But you get them in there and you have a referee and you can keep him at bay with that jab. I mean, he just pieced him up all night with the jab. Gave him a lesson, you know.
Yeah, but for me, the best to have both worlds is to be a boxer with good power. I mean, that's the ultimate.
Triple G, yeah.
Hey,
That's
Stu,
why
you
that's why we
forgot.
all at Triple G.
That's the ultimate
You forgot
attribute.
that.
That's what you want, isn't it? But
Stu,
because it's all good being
Stu.
pretty on the back foot like Malinaji, but if you can punch fucking candy floss off a stick, you're just going to be in for a hell of a night. 12 rounds every time you're in the ring. Because if you can't hurt someone and get their respect, they're just going to walk through your fucking shots and keep coming forward and forward. And I think if you're going to be a boxer, you've got to have some sort of snap where you can hurt them or you can get their respect.
Stu,
I can't
Revolution is still on the line, by
guys
the
who
way.
don't have power. Oh, sorry, BDA.
I mean,
No, it's Bucho, but what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, Revolution is still on the
Sorry,
line.
Bucho.
Yeah, boys, I just got two little quick more things to ask. I'm just gonna jump off the line and let you talk. So I brought up the trivia show because tomorrow I'm out contract. And Jimmy, I'm glad you jumped on tonight. I'm glad you showed your face because I've been wanting to extend to you an invitation to compete in the KO Grand Title Eliminator. Have a tournament. I want you to be a part of it. We're going to hopefully have this show. We're going to try to plan a month ahead, maybe 2 months ahead of you. But right now.
I mean, I'll give it a whirl, dude. I'm not always, that great on trivia, but I'll give it my whirl. I'll give it my best.
All right, bud. All right. Cool.
Just
the contract on. Send one down to you. We'll see. I'm gonna get everybody on. Then we're gonna try to set a date. And so
you're breaking up, man.
Yeah, man.
I'm picking up.
Jimmy.
Yeah.
But yeah, come on in a minute when you come back to us. Jimmy.
No, wait, can you hear me now?
Yeah, kind of.
Okay, because I'm standing right by my window now. Okay, so I'll hit Jimmy up. And my last question is I want you guys to talk about the upcoming Beterbiev-Vosdick fight. I want you guys to break down that fight and talk specifically about how do you think Teddy Atlas is going to influence this fight? Because I think he's going to have a really big impact here. He's, I think, a little ace in the hole that Vosdick has. So I want you guys to talk about Beterbiev versus Vosdick and the possible impact that Teddy Atlas is going to have. You guys hear me?
Yeah, well, we've just broke that down for the last hour and a half, 2 hours, bro. But we can get onto that again. I just want to, before we get onto that, I just want to ask Jimmy a question. You there, Jimmy?
Yes, sir.
Back onto Nigel Benn. I don't know if you'd probably, because you're an old school guy, you probably remember when Nigel Benn come over to America and beat Charles Brewer and Doug DeWitt. I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah, I remember Doug DeWitt. Yeah, I remember the Doug DeWitt fight. Yeah, Dougie, wasn't he from Rhode Island? I think.
Yeah, Nigel Benn went to America to rebuild. I mean, because he got beat. Because at the time the UK had the best super middleweights for me.
Was Nigel? Was he originally from the Virgin Islands or something?
That was middleweight. Yeah, that was middleweight. That was that. And the UK, he just lost. He went over to America to rebuild, and he got 2 great wins against Charles Brewer and Doug DeWitt, and he came back, and he was a better fighter for it. I was just wondering if you remembered that.
Yeah, I remember Doug DeWitt for sure.
He was a good fighter, Doug DeWitt.
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, let's get back onto Revolution.
Stu.
3 years ago, a few years ago, I would have said better be off there. Smoked Gavazic, but he's been so inactive. He just lost some of that, that power back in the day. I don't know. That's a kind of a 50-50 for me right now.
2 different styles. It's which one?
Yeah, exactly. Who can impose their style? That's what it's going to come down to.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what's going to.
I think
it's going to be a very tough fight to call for me. I'm still not sure. Go ahead, Apology.
Yeah. Well, my money is on Vosdick because I think, he's been more active and he has more confidence after beating. I mean, I don't consider him the lineal champ, but he's technically the champ. Stevenson, and he beat him, like knocked him out, like and basically ended his career. While BF last fight got dropped by like Callum Johnson, a British level fighter. So you got to look for the mental aspect of it, and I think Vostik has all the confidence in the world.
I tell you what, Vosnic's he's gonna have to be very careful when he's going inside to do his own work, because he's gonna have to go inside eventually and do his own work. He did it quite a lot against Stevenson, and he was good enough on the night to avoid some of them shots that Stevenson was throwing. Because if they'd have landed, it'd been all sorts of trouble. He was just skimming. It was just skimming away from him, sort of thing. He was lucky to get away with some of them shots because he was hanging around a bit too long at times. But I think with Beterbiev, he's just got a mental style where he sticks behind the guard. And it's all methodical stuff, but he knows what he's doing. He's good with the straight punches. I think he's gonna catch Vosnik, and that's what I'm worried about. I think Vosnik could be winning 11 rounds, but outdoing Beterbiev in the boxing skills department. But all it takes is one big shot, and that Beterbiev's got it. He's a monster, and he comes back. So it's a hard
Did they ever
fight.
face each other in the images? Does anybody know if they ever faced each other before in the images?
Let's see the chat. There's the chat there.
Just a real hard fight to call, man. It really is. Like I said, Vosnik is the better fighter for me, much better skills. But that Beterbiev, you just can't write him off because when they're strong like that, and he has decent boxing fundamentals himself. I know it's all methodical stuff, but it is fundamental, and he's good at what he does. Yes, he's a bit vulnerable himself, but once he starts getting in the rhythm and starts finding the right range and landing his shots, I mean, you see what happened to Callum Johnson, who just started to deteriorate quickly, didn't he? So, and that's what Beterbiev does to you. He hits you and he takes a lot. Each shot he lands is taking something from you. There's a lot of guys that throw fucking hundreds of punches and nothing happens. But yeah, when Beterbiev lands, just one shot and things happen, sort of thing.
Yeah, people don't realize even you get punched in the arms, it hurts. People, you know what I mean? People think gloves make a bit. I'll tell you, by the end of the fight, yeah, forearms are sore, your fucking elbows are sore.
I've been saying it for
Everything.
ages. It's a technique thing because when you watch these Russian fighters or old Soviet Union fighters, Eastern European, whatever you want to call them, load up on their shots, but they've got tremendous power in their shots. It's all technique. They're turning their shots. They're taught from that old Soviet Union amateur boxing style where they were taught to turn their punches and land with. It's all good fucking swinging from the hips like Wilder does. If Wilder had some sort of technique, it'd be even more devastating. I mean, let's be real. Wilder loses a lot of power from his bad technique and his footwork. But if he could get that right, he'd kill a man in the ring.
Which is so strange too, because his trainer Mark Breland was such a fucking. He was one of the best amateur fighters I've ever seen live. You know what I mean? Mark Breland was so good. Just bizarre. He can't get Wilder to take any.
He never really went on to be a superstar like most of the gold medalists. Back in the day, the Americans had win a gold.
No, he was a better amateur.
Yeah, they'd go on and like Ray Leonard and Ali and all people like that. You know, the gold.
Well, he came out of '84, right? That was probably in my opinion, the best Olympic class the United States ever put forth for the '84 team. That was insane. The guys come out that team.
Was got tipped to go on and do great things. It just never really happened in the pros. Don't get me wrong, he was world level. Don't get me wrong, but he weren't. It just didn't. It didn't gel for me. His style was more an amateur style for me.
Well, coming out of the images, he was the most the most highly touted. You know what I mean? And he was probably the least, like you said, the least well known as the pros as years went by. You know, Muhammad Kawi. Well, he went on to be Dwight Braxton. You had Evander Holyfield. Christ, it's so many guys come off that '84 team. I even think Sweet Pea didn't Pernell Whitaker come off '84? Well, maybe he might have been '88, but I know it was crazy.
In the West, though, you've been an American, Jimmy. I mean, I don't know if you'd know what happened to the American amateur boxing system. Was it because the money? Was it because the money was so big that they just turned pro too early, or what was it?
Political correctness in the '90s. Honestly, that's what started. Head injuries when they started first talking about it in Pop Warner, and then it was like this onslaught to get any injury out of the sport. So, like, take for instance where I live in Lowell, Mass. It's like known as the Golden Glove capital of the United States. They've had so many huge tournaments here. The local paper, even, it was always sponsored by the Lowell Sun. They started writing, printing op-eds and started writing things talking about the dangers of boxing. And next thing you know, gyms. At one point, this town of 110,000 people had 10 boxing gyms. You know what I mean? Now there's 2. So that's how this all just started fucking, when kids started, it was economics too,
I just don't think, my opinion as a UK guy, I don't think they make them like they used to in America. They seem to be the fighters seem to be a lot spoiled little brats. I mean, you've only got to look at how half of them dress. Look at the Charlos. I mean, they look like they come from a catwalk, not a boxing gym. I mean, there's just no alpha males in the sport no more. They're all fucking tarts. And I mean, look at Wilder talking about carrying a baby. I mean, what sort of fucking clown? What sort of man gets up in the morning and says, "I want to carry a baby"? I mean, what? Any man with any alpha male? I mean,
Stu, before you get us banned, Stu,
that's some Rick Moranis shit. That is, man. That's some geeky
Stu, before
Rick
you get us
Moranis
banned, we have a phone call. 901, you're on the air. 901.
Hey, yo, what's going on? It's your boy H Money, Mr. DAZN. And I want to talk about Anthony Yard. Anthony Yard shocking the world this weekend. Definitely going to bring the light heavyweight championship back to the UK. I want to give a special shout out to Frank Warren and ESPN for making these big fights on Top Rank. Eddie Hearn is definitely the best promoter in the world in 2019. I got breaking news. Mikey Garcia is signing with DAZN. Eddie Hearn gave him an offer he couldn't refuse. And just last week, Eddie Hearn signed Billy Joe Saunders. So we're going by a week-to-week basis where Matchroom Boxing and DAZN are signing world champions. Billy Joe Saunders. You have, like I said, Triple G now working with Eddie Hearn and Matchroom Boxing. This is beautiful. Eddie Hearn is making the sport better. And I just want to tell King Bucho and definitely BDA Boxing that Eddie Hearn is the promoter of the year in 2019 by signing Demetrius Andrade. Juan Francisco Estrada, the Mexican sensation who's fighting this weekend on DAZN. I want everybody to tune in and watch him fight. Also, Devin Haney, the next Floyd Mayweather, signed with Eddie Hearn in DAZN. Let's not forget about Anthony Joshua. We have Usyk, undisputed cruiserweight world champion, moving up to heavyweight, following the footsteps of the great Evander Holyfield. Shout out to Jimmy talking about the great class of 1984. Jimmy, I just want to mention Meldrick Taylor. He also won a gold medal in that Olympic
Philadelphia
class.
boy, unbelievable.
Meldrick Taylor,
great fighter. Tragic story, but great fighter.
The Mexicans that listen to this show don't like to hear that name.
Jimmy,
they like to forget about
Jimmy,
it.
I want to apologize to you again, Jimmy. I want to apologize to you, Jimmy. I was just, learning, man. I'm new to
dude, hey, listen, you ought to apologize once, brother. All good. You know what I mean, bro? All good. Hey, I got to ask you, though, do you catch a lot of shit being an American, giving props to Eddie Hearn? Because I know, you got to admit, man, a lot of you people don't like that. They don't like Eddie Hearn, man. I go on YouTube, and they crucify that poor prick.
Yeah, Jimmy, I want to apologize. I want to apologize to everybody, man. The LDBC has definitely brought the racism to boxing. So I just want to say, fuck the LDBC. Fuck Nestor Gibbs of the Boxing Voice. You a fucking snitch. You deserve to be in jail, man.
Hey, I want to get in there quickly.
He's a fucking rat. He's a fucking rat, man. He's a rat. He's a snitch.
All right. Let's take it easy.
Relax.
We'll get the
Relax.
All right.
He's the Takashi 6'9" of boxing.
H-Money.
Nestor Gibbs,
H-Money. Okay. Stu, go ahead.
Stop talking, bro.
This is how it works, yeah? We have a dialogue and we don't just sit here and listen to you ranting on. Right. I want to ask you a question quickly. what happened between you and Nesta Gibbs? Because you was a big Nesta Gibbs fan a while ago. I think you hashtagged yourself the TBV Caller of the Year or something like that. The Boxing Voice Caller of the Year,
Can
sorry.
you hear me?
And I want to know what happened. Did Nez time you out? Did he stop you calling in? What happened, bro? Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
We hear you fine. What happened between you and Ness?
Look, Ness is a snitch. The news,
Oh, you
the
told us
breaking
this
news
last
came
week.
to me,
Like I
and
said,
people told me that Nestor Gibbs was a snitch. Yes, I was the most popular caller. I won the Caller of the Year. I was voted the Caller of the Year. Deontay Wilder gave me a shout out. We all know the history. But at the end of the day, if someone is a snitch, if someone is willing to turn in their own people, you cannot trust them. A word that they say. He is a liar.
Hey, no bullshit,
I
H
can't
Money.
believe a
No
word
bullshit.
that he
I heard the
says
same
about
thing from
boxing.
somebody.
No,
I heard the
he's a
same
liar
thing. I
and a
heard he
snitch
ratted on people.
and a thief.
All right.
I heard he snitched on people.
He's a
That's
thief too.
I'm just telling
He
you. I heard the
stole
same
money.
thing from somebody
He stole
totally
money
different.
from his Patreon members. You know what I mean? He stole my money, and he's a fucking snitch. So that's the problem.
All right.
So
Well.
don't say nothing silly about timeout. I'm a grown ass man talking about boxing here.
All right. Let's all calm down.
He's a fucking rat.
That's not the opinion of BDA Boxing. Just putting it out there. There's a disclaimer.
No, I think what happened. I think somebody actually tweeted out his Somebody tweeted out his record. I think once, and they had to take it down because it was considered doxing. But I think somebody actually tweeted out his record.
correct. Like I said, this has been around for a while, so I'm sure Hates Money knew this, but this is why I don't get it. He knew that he was a rat when he was ringing in and getting Call of the Year and getting on with Nez. He was a rat then. So what's changed? That's what I want to know. The guy was a rat when you was calling in before getting on with him. So why have you decided that you're not going to like him anymore because he's a rat? He must have done something else to you. That's what I'm trying to say.
He stole his money on Patreon.
He's gone. He's gone.
He's gone.
Oh, thank God. Thank God. Oh my God.
No, guys,
This fucking guy, man.
Guys, he was doing okay. He was doing perfect. But then he started talking about Ness and the Boxing Voice, and just got out of hand.
No, Bucho, he started talking. He was doing okay until he started talking.
No, you're right. He was still screaming. No, he was
Is
screaming.
he
That's
really
a good
that
point.
bad? See, I don't hear him often, so I mean, he seemed alright. He seems a little amped up. He gets excited. The kid should get into the fucking announcing or something.
Yeah.
He gets amped up.
No one likes a snitch, but it's like that is why young kids are getting shot in the streets of America. No one's coming forward.
No, listen, I have no problem. I think that's bullshit. When you know somebody murdered somebody or some little girl got caught a fucking stray, fuck that. I'd tell on the motherfucker. Fuck that. You kill a child. I'm talking about being a criminal, getting jammed up, and then rolling on your boys to get the fuck out. That to me is a snitch.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's definitely a snitch.
It's like going halves on with your mate on a load of drugs. He gets caught with it, and you fucking snitch him out, sort of thing. Then yeah,
that's what I heard. That type of shit. I heard he was involved, got busted, and was the first to fucking roll paper.
It's that mindset of how H Money just reacted. Is why when young kids are getting shot in the street, no one wants to come forward because they've got savages like H Money. Ready to fucking call them out and fucking shoot them on the spot, sort of thing. So
snitches get stitches.
Yeah, but
At least they wear their shirts. Snitches get stitches.
I mean, if my next door neighbour's a paedophile, I'm snitching the guy out. I don't give a fuck. I don't care if he's my colour, he's one of my people. I'm snitching.
Snitch, dude. You can't do that.
What?
Yeah, apparently that makes you be right now these days.
What? So snitching on a paedophile? I mean, if that makes me a snitch, I'll be a snitch.
No. See, have you seen
that, man? Take him down your basement and fucking give him a blanket party.
On the English Samuel Bulgar. That's what I'll do.
A rapper, real quickly, I forgot who it was. It was a rapper. He said that if he lived by a serial rapist, he wouldn't turn him into the cops. He'd just move out. I'm like, you motherfucker! So you let the serial rapist rape your neighbors, kids,
or rape your own family?
Or you rape your whole family, or somebody
fucking
else's
clown
family.
show. Just a fucking clown show.
Yeah,
kid probably grew up in the suburbs and he's playing hard guy.
I snitched one of my neighbours for mistreating this fucking rabbit, man. I fucking snitched the guy, man. treating his rabbit. I fucking snitched him to the RSPCA. I thought, yeah, the cunt's not looking after the rabbit properly. He needs to be.
Jesus.
You know what it is? I think the people, first of all, people don't follow it. It's a fact that, like any FBI agent would tell you, it's a fact. Like most people, I think like 80% or 90%, they snitch. It's like there's very few that live by. But anyway,
dude, it's all in front of the camera, in front of their boys, in front of, oh, fuck you, I'll talk to the cops. And the minute they get pinched up, all you gotta do is watch the first 48. The minute one of them gets in front of the fucking detectives, motherfuckers run out of ink in their pen, they're writing, slow down, dude. And then around 7, I did this. Are you kidding me?
And they start crying as well. They start crying as well.
Well,
they're all hard and start crying.
You was a CEO, Jimmy, so like you
Dude,
worked as a
convicts don't snitch, fucking inmates do. You know what I mean? The kids who come out from jail, gangbangers, flipping the sign, they're rats. The kids who the guys who are convicts know the fucking game. They don't talk to anybody. They just don't. You know? Because in there, you do get killed. You do get killed for that in there. That's serious ugliness.
Yep.
No matter what, you can't talk to the cops.
Yeah, you can't talk to them. Not in there.
In them places, mate. There's a program on Sky, Prisons Abroad, and World's Worst Prisons or something like that. And some of these fucking hellholes. I mean, you could last a day in them. I'll never know. Never mind 20 fucking years.
The Black Dolphin in Russia, to me, is the worst prison on the planet. They make you walk bent over, handcuffed. You can't look up, so you don't know the layout. They have fucking the biggest dogs in the world, over 200 pounds, barking at you as you walk. They'll beat you if you talk. Dude, it's terrible. Like I worked at a Supermax, so everything was automated. You know what I mean? So it wasn't. So it's different. You're not like as hands-on with the inmates, but. Yeah, that's the worst prison. If you ever go on YouTube, Black Dolphin, it's insane.
Is it the one that's in the middle of nowhere?
Yep.
Where's it? Where is it at?
It's in Siberia.
Yeah.
Russia.
Yeah.
The Black Dolphin. Literally, you walk over with two guys holding your hands up in the back. You're like bent over with your hands handcuffed, and they hold your hands up facing the ceiling as you walk. And that's how, no matter where you go in the facility, you have to walk like that with dogs at your heels barking. It's insane.
Yeah, the fucking prisons in the UK, mate. Fuck me, you get FaceTimed off them from their cells and watching. They're watching fucking Match of the Day on Saturday night with their feet up with a split in their mouth.
They're playing like Xbox and PlayStation. Stu, do you remember the Jamie? What's the guy's name?
What?
Yeah, you remember that case? Yeah.
Are you on about?
Yeah, you know the little kid who was murdered by the 2 other guys. I forgot their names.
James Bulger. That's what his name was.
Yeah, James Bulger. Yeah.
What, Whitey?
What happened was these two. This was years ago in the UK. This little kid was with his mum in the shopping centre, and she turned away to look at something, and he carried on walking. And 2 little lads, like how old were they? About 7, 8, 9, or something like that. They took this kid, man, and took him to the railway station and fucking killed him.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah, I remember that. 2 kids. Yeah, they killed that little kid.
My point is, like, they got protection. They got put in a nice prison. Apparently, they were able to play like PlayStation and stuff like that.
Venables. Yep.
Yeah, what they're only like 8, 9 years old. Like, really, what do you do to them? What do you know what I mean? Put them in. That's fucked up, right? It's almost like the parents answer for that.
That heathen, right? They obviously changed his fucking name. You know what the Liberals are like? They care more about the fucking the person,
the criminal than the victim. They care about, that's what
Liberals are fucking sick in this. They've changed this guy's sort of name and everything, and someone's found out who he was because he was getting out. He got out on parole, sort of thing, on bail, and someone found out who he was, and they were gonna who he was, but they were the Liberals got hold of him and said, "Look, you'll go to prison for years if you do that. You know, he's on the witness protection." So no, they've been protecting this guy, and he got out, and I think, didn't he molest another kid or something? Or
he was caught with paedophilia. Yeah, he did.
That's right. He got out of prison. Got caught with. So I mean, this kid's obviously been fucked up in the head since day dot. You know, so he's got out of prison, got caught again with porn on his video, and gone back in, and they're protecting him again. I mean, no doubt the Liberals are, some sort of plastic surgeon. His face has been changed and all sorts now. Do you know what I mean?
Goddamn, Stu, if you
It's
want to hear real
disgusting, man.
It's not funny to
Stu,
recognize. Stop laughing.
I knew about I've
I'm
heard
not
about that story before.
Yeah, I can hear.
They did some fucking that's a twisted story, Stu. And matter of
That's
fact,
not me laughing.
I got
okay,
it.
sorry.
Come on now, stop that laughing, man.
No, I'm not laughing. It's fucking Bucho.
Oh, they soundbite it recognizes his laugh. That's a good one.
You gotta be careful what you say in front of Bucho.
But yeah, actually, Stu, I found out about that John Venables cat from a fucking some English punk band that I listened to. They wrote a song called "Little Bastards." And
Yeah, he's certainly that.
Yeah.
I mean,
Shit.
Hey, Stu, you want to hear fucking the craziest thing? One of the sickest pricks when I was in as a guard was this kid, Eddie O'Brien was his name. Guys, look him up on Google. When he was 13, I think he was 13 or 14. Anyways, he went 2 stores over and he stabbed his best friend's mother 94 times and raped her at 14 years old. Little redhead, freckled-faced, you know what I mean, baby-faced goof. By the time he was 19, he was 6'6", 300 pounds, and the dude was raping everybody at the Supermax. He got so bad, he had to be fucking cuffed up everywhere he went because he was just taking everybody. He became a fucking monster because when he first came in, they beat his ass. Yeah, check it out. His name was Eddie O'Brien. I'm sure if you punch it in Google, man, Boston, Eddie O'Brien in Somerville, he stabbed his 90-something times.
Jesus.
Sick fuck.
I'll tell you what,
Yeah.
there's some fucking dangerous people. I mean, there's dangerous people everywhere, but there's some fucking dangerous people in America, aren't there? Fuck's sake.
Dude, a fucking straight rapist. He would pull a kid, right, a 19-year-old, would pull him in the bathroom and rape him.
Hey, Stu, you want to hear
In
this
America,
New
I
Year's
mean, you could get up in the morning, supermarket, you could get fucking shot. You know what I mean? You could go church, you're getting shot these days. Go school, you're getting shot. There's these fucking savages everywhere.
Stu, this kid Dennis Day, he was from Lowell. I didn't know him when he lived here, but he was up at Shirley Supermax. Hand to God, I think I even said this before. He murdered a kid. He threw a kid, wrapped the fucking cord of the buffer. They buffed, the tears with, wrapped the cord around his neck, and then when they threw him over the tear, because obviously the buffer gets caught up, kick, fucking kid. You know why? Because he shined him off when he asked for him, because he lent him a fucking bread tie to light a cigarette. You stick in the plug, it sparks. They light up a Q-tip, they light up the cigarette. So when he asked for his fucking his sparker back at lunch, I guess the kid just kind of shined him off, said, "Yeah, I'll get it to you after," and went back to talking. And little Day, like 5'7", with always froth in the side of his mouth and these thick glasses, just kind of walked away, found the 2 Borelli brothers. They went up to his tear and fucking killed him. They threw him over the thing and he broke his neck. So that goes to show you how sick fucking prison life is, man. People don't know. You could die for anything.
I think you got to get these people. See the old ball store system we used to have in the UK. See, I was a bit too. I missed it. It was a bit before my time. They stopped doing it, but it was great for. Giving them respect, teaching them manners, learning to respect their elders, sort of thing. They went on to these ball stores. It's like national service. It's like you go in the army, sort of thing. But and these ball stores will be for the people that misbehave, but they'd teach them manners. You'd come out, and you wouldn't ever want to go back.
Kids who don't have discipline and don't respect authority are almost scared. This is the reason why 80% of most guys incarcerated come from single-parent homes.
Yeah.
They don't have that structure.
That's right.
If you don't have a parent, if you're not afraid of you're not going to be afraid of a cop. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Fuck you. We got to listen to you, dude. I don't have to listen to anybody. Absolutely, of course it is. Of course it is. Anything to bring discipline and focus into a teen. Listen, teenage kids, they just want focus. They want someone to tell them what to do. When they're running the streets and they don't have to fucking answer to anybody, they're not suddenly going to learn respect to a cop. It just doesn't happen.
It's also anger. They have a lot of anger.
Unfortunately, that kid,
they have a lot
I was
of
going to say
anger.
that dude Dennis Day, the reason why that wouldn't happen with him, when he went to prison for, I'll tell you how sick he is. He went to rob this dude, they were coke dealers, this couple. They dressed as undercover police officers. And when he went in there, they were torturing him because they had children upstairs in case the kid's afraid the kid was going to fall out of bed and hurt him. That's how they found his fingerprints, because he was up in the room touching shit. He's downstairs. He murdered both the parents. I guess the wife was an accident. but he was worried about the kids falling out of bed. So it goes to show you the mentality of that fucking cat. Yeah, Dennis Day. That was his name. Imagine that. Fucking sick.
Yep.
Well,
Hey,
at least
you
he
guys, I read an article
take
today.
care of the kids.
I read this article today, right? That the San Francisco's prison board. This is in California. They want to now change the name for what you would call somebody who served time, like an ex-convict.
During court, they don't want to call them convict because it's they said
they
it's.
want to change it
It's
to
fucking hilarious.
persons. Check this out. They want to call them persons of justice.
Yeah, people are persons involved in justice.
Typical liberal California.
Like, why? First of all, persons of justice could mean a lot of things. It could mean a person that serves justice. Like, you're confusing me, right? Like, why do I have to? Why do you want us to change the meaning of it or the words ex-convict? Like, that's
because words are offensive. Recognized. And people don't want to hurt their feelings.
One of the wealthiest cities in the country that's literally covered in feces and needles. Junkies passing out in every fucking doorway in the city, and they're worried about what they're calling convicts. Liberals.
Let me tell you something about Jimmy. Liberalism is a mental illness. It is seriously it's a mental illness. I mean, you can't be thinking straight with them sort of.
And then the DA won't prosecute anybody who does a crime under $700. So you can do as many B&Es, you can do as many shopliftings, and you don't have to worry about going to prison. It's a joke. They can shit in the street. They literally pull their pants down, shit in the street, and they don't get in trouble.
Even these social justice warriors, this progressive politics, it's everywhere. It's in the movies, and I mean, look what they've done to Star Wars. Now, Sky have got a Star Wars channel at the moment. Oh God! Because I've been resting, because I've been working lots. So I had a little rest day, sat on the couch, and went through the Star Wars movies, and it's just progressive politics. Do you know what I mean?
Everything's
feminism, and all this woke shit. I mean, even that robot in Solo. I mean, fucking hell,
it was a gay robot,
strong robotic woman. It was just. They're just ruining everything, and I tell you what, that's why they don't like Putin, because Putin is a fucking old school alpha male, and he kicked that shit out of Russia. Because let's be real. I mean, Russia, you don't find many cooks and beta males in Russia, do you?
Dude, hey, did you see? You know the Young Turks? Did you see what his nephew said last night? That's been all over the news.
9/11, America deserved.
I never tweet about politics, and I even tweeted that kid, "Fuck you, you fucking." I don't know. I called him a fucking clown. Yeah.
What did he say?
This is what he said. He said 9/11. Fuck that. America deserved 9/11. And that fucking dude. He was talking about Dan Crenshaw with the eye patch. He had a picture of him up, and he goes, "And this fucking idiot." Called the Mujahideen soldier who planted the IED a brave soldier, and he's just angry because he skull fucked his eye socket. That's what he said about the Navy SEAL. Swear to God, it's all over the news. That's the left right there. That's how bad they hate this country. We deserve 9/11. That motherfucker.
The young turds. I just can't stand them. What a fucking hideous bunch of people they are. I mean, let's be real. They are nut jobs, Marxists, they're definitely cultural Marxists. Everyone's a Nazi to them, you know. Everyone's fucking KKK. The white man's the devil.
Anybody who disagrees with them, Stu, is a white supremacist. Anybody, even if you're.
I have a question. How has this new liberal ideas affected boxing? How have they affected boxing?
It has.
How?
It has.
Didn't they talk about
Taylor on us? Katie Taylor on a Sky couldn't get enough of this girl. Eddie Heard, she's one of the best boxers in my camp. Get the fuck out of here, man. And let's be real, man. She knocks nobody out. She blocks punches with her face. So I mean, she's the best of a bad bunch. Let's get it real, man.
So yeah, go ahead, Apollo.
That's been forced on us. You know. What next? I mean, there's going to be some fucking rainbow belt that WBC is going to come out, and Orlando Cruz is going to fight for it.
You mean Ryan Garcia?
Yeah.
Stu, why do you hate women?
Honestly, They're going to take the sport from us. They're like they've done everything else. They took Star Wars from us. They took fucking Ghostbusters from us. And they're gonna take this from. Honestly, you can't be a man.
They're on their way taking. They're going to take American football too pretty soon. That's going to be taken.
Look what they've
Yeah,
done. Look what they've done to
Stu,
the NFL. Look what they've done to that.
what, Stu,
I mean,
Stu, you know what's
No,
funny?
they're going to be no Chilis in the
Stu,
NFL.
why do you hate
NFL right
women?
now. I mean,
Why do
what
you
a
hate
bunch of
women?
fucking whiny fucks
Hey,
them are.
hey, Stu, you know what's
Stu,
the best though? Really, just wrap your head around this. Palisades is right across the fucking bay from San Francisco. That's where all the politicians live, right? That is one of the fucking strictest towns in California. You jaywalk there, they write you up. So these motherfuckers who are letting San Francisco get covered in feces and needles and have no laws over there, and where they live in a gated community, you better not speed, or you're gonna get beat down. See what they? It's hypocrite. Everything's
All right,
hypocrites.
guys. All right, let me just get some comments in here. Jonathan in the chat saying that Andy Ruiz just agreed to the Saudi Arabia fight, so we were expecting that.
Good for him.
He also says, let's talk more about them liberals. Michael Stott says, Stu, who is they? Who owns Star Wars and directs it? It rhymes with news. Okay, he's attacking somebody. I don't know who.
The thing with Michael Stott is in some
Jews.
fucking little zone of his own. I mean, he's in a matrix of his own, isn't he? Because he sits there talking along, and no one knows what the fuck he's going on about. So I'd like him to break down what he's on about.
Well, I
for a
think
start.
I think I know what
He's
he's
talking
saying.
about
I
Jews.
don't
I
want to
think
say.
I know
the
what he
Jews.
means by they.
Yeah,
I know
they.
he's
Oh,
talking
let
about.
me
All
tell you
right.
something. Disney have ruined Star Wars. They put that fucking feminist hag, Kathleen, what's her name, Kennedy, in, and she's put a load of soy boys and Jew boys, to to direct these garbage. I mean, let's be real. I mean, you've got it's the full package in it. In the Last Jedi, you've got your fucking weak black guy, you've got your white devil man, you've got your strong white woman, you've got your fucking you've got your little Chinese girl there now who's a warrior as well. You know, who's the one that saved the day? Who's the one that drove the ship through the fleet? It was the woman with the purple hair, wasn't it? She was the one that saved the day. All the guys they were quickly to run, weren't they? I mean, let's be real.
Dude, every movie you turn on, they got fucking 5'7", 110-pound girls beating a dog snot out of
I mean, let's
fucking
be real.
dudes
Yeah.
240. It's
Let's be
ridiculous.
real. Let's be real. Let's be real.
Nah,
The
right.
average
That
man with
female.
some decent size will smack the shit out of her, and that'll be over.
Yeah.
Come on. A guy with
That
average
Ray,
size.
whatever her name is, right? That Ray, whatever her name is, right? She learned she learned more in a day than Obi-Wan Kenobi and Darth Vader combined in their whole life knew about the Jedi powers. I mean, this woman, as soon as she picked up the fucking sword, she was beating up what's his name? What's that fucking geek who
Kylo Ren.
Yeah, Kylo Ren. I mean, let's be real. When he took his fucking helmet off, I thought it was a fucking. I thought we was going to see the Pet Shop Boys turn up. Do you know what I mean? All the village people.
People in the chat are saying that Stu's fired up. Love it.
Going to break out into a village people dance or something. I thought, who's this fucking clown? He ain't scary. Bring back fucking Vader. Do you know what I mean?
Get off. Yeah, Get Off Me Son says, anyone seen the movie Demolition Man? That's where we are headed. That's true. Good point. Somebody else said that.
That's a very good movie.
Somebody else said that Christ 2 is just a movie.
Yeah,
it's not just a movie, but they're ruining the whole franchise.
It's the culture. It's the culture. Movies represent culture.
I grew up on Star Wars, right? Star Wars in my life. I had fucking all the toys. If I'd have kept them, they'd been worth thousands now. That's my life, man. Skywalker, Han Solo, Chewbacca. I grew up with them guys, and then they've killed them off to bring these fucking clowns, these weak, pathetic women, and this Sawyer boy, and this. I mean,
who controls Hollywood? Who controls Hollywood?
Black people have been waiting for a good role model in Star Wars for decades, and they get him. I mean, the weakest black man they could have found on the planet. He's got no spine.
Who controls Hollywood?
Woman has to keep rescuing him. I mean, how pathetic is he?
You recognize? You're gonna have to stop asking that question, man.
It's mostly Jews.
Oh my God! No, we're not.
I'm sorry.
Look.
What are you talking about?
This is not an attack on individual
No.
people.
No.
hold on. Let me finish. All right, let me finish. Like my man boxing style. Let me finish. I would never point the finger at individual people and say because of that they're, because of their race or whatever, they're bad people. But there is something to say about a group that sticks their nose in every people's business, even
I'm not a
if it's
racist. That's what's
unpopular.
so
Wait,
insane
time
about
out.
this.
Let me finish. Even when it's unpopular by a mile. It is unpopular. That's why you get your Star Wars now changing characters to please a certain audience. Who gives a fuck about that? Nobody was asking that for that except a few people. If you want to make, if you want to make a movie that represents everyone, you start from the scratch. You don't take a movie, an idea that the certain characters look a certain way, and you change that. But when you let a certain group of people take over and you don't question it, well, you're not even allowed to question it, right? This is what you get. You get shit.
I mean, look at what they did.
Motherfuckers.
I mean, like I said, with the Han Solo thing, they turned him into a deadbeat dad, while this girl could do no wrong.
Turned into a deadbeat dad. Look at
That's true.
This girl could do
Recognize.
Yes.
Had no will to live anymore. So imagine Luke Skywalker was sucking on the nipples of some funny animal and drink.
Oh God.
I mean, what the fuck was that all
That's
about?
nasty. That was nasty.
He chucked his
Hey,
lightsaber away.
Yeah.
Yo,
Recognize.
recognize. Hold on. Can I
This
say
woman had
something
no
real quick?
struggle.
Yes.
This woman still no struggle with this woman. It just flew. I mean, look, she jumped in that Millennium Falcon and rode that thing like she'd fucking rode it 1,000 times before.
Drove it like she stole it.
Yeah.
Like
Can I ask,
that was
recognize the question?
Go
Hold
ahead,
on one
Paul.
sec.
Feminist.
Do you think? Oh, good.
Go ahead, Paul.
Yeah. Do you think it's maybe like, let's say, take that certain group you're talking about. This is the way I view it. Do you think it's not our fault, as in our the panel's fault specifically, but do you think it's a fault of Americans for not like calling people out and for accepting it? So, for example, they would still buy and pay for the new Star Wars movies and kind of brush over certain things like all the liberal, messages and say, "Oh, it's fine, strong, independent women and stuff like that."
Apology. Listen, Kathleen Turner. Hang on a minute. Kathleen Turner. It's just great losing a job. She just kept it because no one else wanted it. They offered it to J.J. Abrams. He didn't want it. It's toxic the job right now because a lot of Star Wars fans are turned off by the joke. Solo was a massive flop. I mean, let's be real. That was rubbish. Let's be real. That was rubbish as well. Look at that robot. I mean, I couldn't bear to watch that film just for that robot, that feminist robot.
So
the Star Wars fans, Star Wars fans have had enough, and they're turning off. And now, like I said, there's big changes. I'm hearing there's big changes because the boss of Disney have said, look, there's too much politics in these new Star Wars films, and we need to
They
get
lost
back
their
to
shirt.
Quick question.
So
quick
hopefully
question
that will happen. But Kathleen Kennedy, like I said, I'm sorry I have to say it. I've said it before. You stick a woman in a high power position, she'll fucking destroy the place. Whatever it is, if it's a country, if it's a
Future,
business,
get the disclaimer.
Yeah.
They're not built to run organisations and run people. Sorry. You've only got to look what Merkel's done at Germany, Theresa May did to the UK, what Hillary Clinton did to America.
Disclaimer.
When she was Home Secretary, whatever. So these women are destroyers, mate, especially these feminists. None of these women have got kids. Merkel, no kids. May, no kids. They've got nothing to do. Let
All right.
Quick one.
Revolution, go ahead. He
Okay,
wants to say something.
quick. Stu, who was worse? Because I didn't see the new Solo movie. Who was worse, the feminist robot or Jar Jar Binks?
Feminist robot by far.
This robot makes Jar Jar Binks a likable character.
Wow! Oh my god!
I actually like Jar Jar Binks, so
what?
Yeah, in a hold on, in a cringy, funny way. But
In a
this
racist
wasn't even
type of
funny.
way. That shit was racist, man.
In a racist way, I think he's hilarious now.
I'm not a racist. That's what's so insane about this.
Do you know what George Lucas said? He's actually turned around and said he didn't realize he sold Star Wars to white slaves, and what he meant by that was he sold Star Wars to these white slaves who were willing to sell out the brand for progressive politics.
Well,
Yeah, that's
dude,
my point.
my only
That's my
thing,
point.
my point on that, dude, real quick, is this: the fact that it's now illegal in 13 countries to even question the Holocaust. That to me is fucking. That's not good,
Whoa.
man.
Whoa.
Well, it
Disclaimer.
tells you who's in.
That's
It tells you who
Disclaimer.
has
I
a
mean,
lot of
think of it.
influence and a
That's
lot of
what.
control.
completely. That's authoritarian to the max. I don't
Well,
give a
it's
fuck what your politics on it. The fact that they're making it illegal to even discuss it. Come on.
All right.
yeah.
The
Well,
views
I
and
Jimmy,
mean, if I
opinions
can,
the
if I can
expressed
American.
are
question
those
Oh,
of
everything
good.
the
else,
guest and do not
if I can
necessarily
question
reflect
everything
the
else,
views of BDA Boxing. That disclaimer is up on
Heritage,
the
I'm a
screen.
bigot.
listen. If I can question everything else, right? If I can question everything else, but there's just one group that I cannot question. And again, I'm not blaming individuals. You can't do that because individual is different. A group is something else. Okay.
It's just so
So
bizarre how different they are in Jerusalem. I mean, in Israel, they're so right wing and conservative. It's the American, they're just the liberal,
right.
the white
There's
liberal Jew
That's
here.
my point.
Completely
That's my
different
point,
people.
Well,
Jimmy.
Oh
left,
Like
god.
that's my
Different.
Oh
point.
god.
You can blame a certain group, but then
Right.
it's
Okay.
up
Back to
to
your
us
answer.
to.
Back to your
Oh,
question.
good.
Apology, because you had asked me that question and I didn't get the chance to answer you. You're so right. I know where you're going with this. Of course, you got to blame everybody else. But here's the thing: when you brainwash a group of people to believe that loving yourself is some type of form, or loving you, showing some patriotism to your own people or whatever. Okay, uh, it's a bad thing when you've been brainwashed and the media is responsible for that. It's still, look, I do blame people that have the power to say, look, we're not going to do this. You know what I'm saying? We're not playing favoritism. It's freedom of speech for everybody, and everything is on the table. Not
the thing is, recognise it's the universities, bro. The media can
yes, no,
the
of
media do
course.
so much. That is bred from a young age
Those
through
who control the media,
universities.
those
I
who
mean, you've only got to
control
see these professors. They're all Marxists and
yes,
communists.
no,
Um,
and Stu, let me just finish this point. You're exactly right. That's the point. But whoever controls the media, whoever controls academia, whoever controls fucking social media, whatever, you get what I'm saying. When you control that, and you can say you can't speak, Stuart Little, you cannot speak because we don't like what you talk about, and everybody in the panel, you guys cannot speak. But the ones that want to talk about diversity is our strength, and transgender is beautiful, and that's the only talking point, right? That's the only talking point we're gonna allow. Everybody else, we're gonna have we're gonna have limited speech on you. If you fart the wrong way, we're gonna take you off the internet, right? It becomes hard to compete with. The problem is that a lot of people don't think this is happening. That's the real problem.
Yeah,
It's
They actually don't
and
think
and
this
they
is
authoritarian.
don't,
happening.
It's
and
fascism.
also they don't want to fight against it.
when the left march, it's when the right march is this hooliganism, and it's that's how they see it. I mean, for me, I think the left are far more violent and far more divisive than the right. To be honest with you, I mean,
The
listen to
fucking
And the
what
news was
and the thing
chasing it.
about
I was going to say the news over the weekend in Portland. They're chasing Proud Boys around. A fucking kid of color too. He's the leader of Proud Boys. Is I believe half African American, and he's
I think
and the fucking CNN's asking him, "You guys, what are you doing here?" We just wanted to wave the flag, say we love our country, and go have a picnic. And literally, that's all they did. Antifa was in there attacking an elderly, attacking media, punching people, hitting buses, and all the fucking media did was talk about white supremacy and the right wing. It was
yeah,
insane. But all
but
you have to do is
Jimmy,
go on YouTube and you're seeing the truth.
Jimmy, isn't that the fault of the American people for basically selling out their own country? We can blame a certain group, but at some point, we have
yeah.
to
It's
look
well,
at
what it is.
within ourselves
It's the elites.
because
It's
they're
the fucking
sellouts.
It's the
Yeah,
elites
they're
on the left and
sellouts.
west coast. It's the fucking white liberal elites who live in gated communities and they virtue signal. You know why? Because it helps them feel good about their own true racism. Because if they weren't really racists, these people in charge of Baltimore, in charge of Chicago, do you think they would be letting these fucking kids die by the
They don't care.
droves?
They're
You know
race
what I mean? They don't
hustlers.
Yeah,
give a
they don't
fuck. They're letting
care.
these
They
kids
They
sell
die
out
day
for
after
they
day.
they
Eating
money and
shit.
control.
you know what they are? Race hustlers. They're race
Exactly.
Yeah.
Fucking race
Exactly.
pimps.
Yo,
And that's,
Yeah,
and
they
that's the
play
problem
that.
with the black
They
community in
what?
America. That's they've got so many of them. I mean, Sharpton, Farrakhan, they're all living very well, by the way, all multi-millionaires. And by doing what? Jesse Jackson's another one. You know, by doing what? By being race baiters. And there's a lot of them that jumped on the bandwagon now.
Well,
And,
think
and
about this.
And also, real quick on
Who's
the.
the Democrat congressman, the old black guy from Baltimore. I mean, this guy who calls
Cummings.
Trump. Is it?
Yes.
Elijah Cummings?
Yes, Cummings. Yep.
Yeah, well, this guy here, man. I mean, he calls the race card all the time. Yeah, look, Trump called him out. Look at the money Baltimore's been given. What has he done for the people of Baltimore? That place is a hellhole, and he sits there in his fucking gated community, crying the victim. I mean, it's amazing.
Yeah, they sell out. At some point, we have to stop blame the elites, and it all works at a certain level. So, say if we don't do anything, then the people at the top are going to continue to pull their bullshit. So,
Hey, guys.
the people who run in the Detroit and stuff like that, they don't care about the people, and the people just sit there and accept it.
It's embarrassing that they're trying to push the squad on the American people. I mean, I've never seen a bunch of misfits in my life. I mean, it's just fucking hell. I mean,
Dude, she's 28-year-old bartender. Her greatest professional achievement was learning how to make a fucking mojito. You know what I mean? Now she's fucking telling everybody how to what to do with their money.
Cortez is a cornball.
Yeah.
She's gonna be our next president. Watch. She's gonna be the next president.
Hung a
Watch.
camera out of her.
She will. Trust me.
All right, but hey, guys, right? This is now just wrap your head around this. This is an important thing, right? If you ever hear about mass shootings, all you hear about is right wing. Anytime there's a white dude with there's a mass shooting. Mass shooting is by the FBI rates a mass shooting by 4 victims. There has to be 4 or more victims, whether they live or not, is regardless. That's considered a mass shooting. There has been, since the beginning of the summer, there's been 97 mass shootings in the United States. 87 have been committed by people of color, either Spanish or black. I mean, the Chicago Times did a big picture of them all. 11 were by white people or considered white. But all you hear about is when is a fucking, because they're pushing a narrative. Because, you know what, if I was black, I'd be like, what fucking, it's not that I'd be don't point it at us like that. I'd be like, what the fuck, what all the lives, all these poor black kids who are just fucking, they're chalk line silhouettes by 19 years old.
No, they don't care.
Nobody gives a fuck.
All right, guys, we're gonna have to end the show. It's gonna be another show tomorrow. So,
was it something I said?
No,
Yeah.
it's not. I'm gonna
gonna
just
get kicked
put a
off now.
disclaimer
I'll just
on the
say
screen.
For anyone who votes for the Democratic Party or the left in the UK, like the Labour Party over here, you hate your country and you want to see its destruction. That's the only thing I can say to you. Because anyone with the same mind that loves their
Stuart,
country,
I have a theory. I have a theory on that.
All right.
Can I speak?
Okay, do it
Real
quickly.
quick.
Say it quickly, please.
Well, my theory is this: Stu, think about it. These people on the left, they can't compete with the average person. So if they bring the country down, at the very least, they bring people down to their level. And in the meantime, before Britain turns into a hellhole, they get free stuff, they get a voice, because they can't compete.
Well, listen, you've only got to look at them. Then half of them are not very nice on the eye to look at. Look at the women. I mean, you can see why they want open borders. The more third world goat herders we have, the more chance one of these mutts can find some love. So,
Jesus Christ!
No, that's true.
Stu, you want to end the show since it's the Stu show?
I'm going to end this. It's been a great night.
That was beautiful, Stu.
Oh man.
Yeah, it's been a good show, man. And like I said, hopefully we
I
can.
just want to say my last words. My last words would be: don't trust the Republican Party either in America. Let's get rid of the kosher sandwich, and that's all I gotta say.
God.
Peace.
God bless.
Yeah, that's a good point.
You guys be safe, all right?
The Republicans are a bunch of snakes. They sell out to Israel. That's all I have to say.
I'm not cool with that. I'm
sorry. Fuck the law, y'all. Peace out.
I'm disappointed in everyone of you.
I mean, I'm dealing with degenerate animals.
Show tomorrow, guys. Tomorrow.
Disappointed in everyone.
See you tomorrow.
Disappointed in everyone. All right, come on.
Honestly, I can't do it no more.
I'm disappointed in everyone.
Let me tell you why.
It's gonna be alright, Nicky. Go ahead, shoot.
Let's just kill the fucking man.
What are you going to do about it?
You're happy because you got nothing. You don't got a thing. You're happy because you got nothing. Lorito! Got nothing.
I want to get out. I want to get out of this rat hole. I want to get online. I need
BDA Boxing.